You done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. You done lost your mind. They done lost they miggity mind. Peace, peace. Peace, peace. We're going to have a great conversation today. Let me get me some of this good, one of my concoctions. This is my beet juice. I got cloves in it, ginger, natural pineapple. Press the pineapple juice. It's for blood pressure, immune. It's one of my go-to juices. I also do a cranberry one for my mom as she's going through her recovery. But I do a lot of juices. I make a lot of vegetable smoothies. In my garden, I grow all my herbs. I grow them all. Even my dandelions, in my garden, I have a whole dandelion garden. I just started getting this sweet gumball that I make a tea with. And I just got my blue lotus leaves. So right now, I already dried out some of the blue lotus leaves. But we're going to have a good conversation today. So let me get a couple things going on. Let me turn my volume up because I usually don't talk about politics and things. But since I was invited on a panel, because I'm back in my city of Flint, and I told people I am not interested in running for no political position. It's a waste of my time. I deal with law and policy, not Democrat, Republican, or independent. I don't deal with that stuff. I'm not arguing with nobody of that. I just try to illuminate our people to some things I don't even really think they know. I don't think our people know about the truth of what electoral colleges is. I just don't think our people have a clear understanding. And what we do, we base things on how we feel. Not on what we know. We base things on how we feel. And with most melanated people that I've seen in the city, it's a popularity contest. So, the question was presented to me about the politics in Michigan. And then, I know people that's in, Dalton, where they had that lady mayor, Tiffany Henyard. And you see how she destroyed the city, and now she's running for other political positions. But she's running on a Republican platform. And I told y'all, man, our own people, I don't care if you're a woman or man. I got to deal with the people that got experience, qualified, educated, anointed, consecrated, that know, not a popularity contest. So I tell people, especially in a small city of Flint, this is the thing people don't know. Everything that's going on in Flint with the mayor and the city council, they all know each other. They are Democrat, right? But before I even get to that discussion, I want to share something. When I tell you our people just make stuff up and then they'll say, well, this, none, the other, he might have mistaken. Nobody mistaken. It's premeditated lies. So when I talk about the reality of things, when I say, well, you voted for a mayor or a city council or president, whatever, you really don't have to have no education, really. You don't. You don't have to ask for no education. You just have to, a lot of times it's a popularity vote with a lot of our people. A lot of our people are Democrats because their mother was Democrat. When you ask people what's the law and policy and what's the agenda, they have no idea. A lot of times when you voting for a Democrat, and a lot of our people vote Democrat across the whole board, but on the back you can vote for certain law policy that you feel is okay, no matter what Republican or Democratic Party it is. And that's what I tell people. Law and policy, it has to be voted on by the people before it can be passed, just like when marijuana was illegal in certain states. So in the city of Flint, we have a mayor named Sheldon Neely. And this is the truth of the matter. When these individuals, especially melanated people, they lie about their credentials, and Flint Mayor Sheldon Neely earned an associate's degree from Delta College, but he did not graduate with a 4-year bachelor's degree. Although he attended Saginaw Valley State University, he did not complete the degree program. While several official biographies, now this is the shiggity. When I say people be in with the shiggity, Just listen to what I'm saying. While several official biographies and government websites previously claimed that the Mayor Neely had graduated from Saginaw Valley State University with a bachelor's degree in communication, listen to this. They say it was later confirmed by the university that he only attended. Neely's office and the official biographies, like the City of Flint Mayor's office, now clarify that he holds an associate degree from Delta College and completed some coursework at SVSU, which is Saginaw Valley State University, without graduating. So who made up the lie from the jump? Who made up the lie from the jump? For not only him to say that, but the mayor's office and government officials have to go back and retract and say, you know what? He didn't graduate from Saginaw Valley State University. He only attended Delta Community College. Do you understand what I'm saying with us? And we say, okay, but it shows that you're not honest. It shows that you premeditated a lie. It shows that because you said that you had a degree, you said it, and then nobody fact checked the stuff. And then when they fact check it, this person will be proved that you lied about everything. You lied about education. Now, why would you want to lie about that? Why? Tell me why. Tell me why. And it's so easy to look up. If I said I got a bachelor's degree from Clear University and a master's degree from Grand Canyon University, why would I lie? Anybody can just look me up. Just like Moore's, when you see CM Bay, and CM Bay got all these letters behind his name, DD this, DD this, and then the university he said he graduated from. And then when you look up in the archives of that university, this person ain't nowhere to be found. So that means you lied. And tell me why. If you good at what you're doing, if you homeschool and you got the wisdom and you qualify this because you don't have to have an education to run for these political offices, why lie to the people? And then they say, no, this dude is full of cap. Like, you don't have no degree. And then the person say, well, you don't have to have one, but why you lie? That's all I ask people. Why? Why do we do this and say it don't matter? Clearly it mattered then. Why? Because you lie. And then the people that lie with you got to go and backtrack and say, well, no, he don't. So what else is fable? What else is fable? And that's why I say in certain cities with us, we get unqualified people. I ain't asking the reason. I know the reason, but I'm saying the people lie and there's no fact checking. I understand that, but we lie without nobody checking it. That's what I'm saying. We check everything. Oh man, his shoes ain't real. His belt ain't real. His Gucci belt ain't real. Oh, his diamonds ain't real. A person, let me get my diamond tester to look at somebody's diamonds. But when somebody running for office and everybody say they brilliant, I'm talking about the regular people that graduated from these universities that know it's cap. We do this to our own people. That's what I be saying. We be doing this. Yeah, a person lie, but it can be fact checked. That's all I'm saying. It can be fact checked. And education don't make you better or saying you know how to do this better than a person. Make up like you got a degree to say, well, you know, I'm a little bit more special than you. No, you just like the rest of the NBCs that'll do that. You know different. You know different. Just like a lot of, I don't have enough fingers and toes to tell you how many people be lying. Just like the dude Tank, the singer Tank, and the other dude, the Muslim dude got on there talk about they got some master's degree from a diploma mill in Nigeria and came up with that fake green screen, like some ICDC college. And I said, you can tell these people don't know what they're talking about. Why? Because you could tell these people don't know about budgets, law and policy, and all that. Why? Because this is stuff that you would do in academia. It's a certain language that you would know. That's why when people be saying they're scholars on social media, I'll be like, that's not true. Because if it was scholar, it's a thing called peer review scholarly research. And no matter if you don't like my turban or whatever, you'd be like, well, that brother is telling you the truth. Why? Because that's scholarship. That's all I be asking our people. Why do you got to get up there and lie? And I know people that graduate and they like, man, they're like, shit, this person ain't graduate from no Saginaw Valley. They're like, that stuff with the Al Islam Muslim for the Nation and the singer Tank with that green screen with that Nigerian dude, that's all fake. But that's what we do. We love fake stuff. And so when we dealing with politics in our community, especially in the city of Flint or any urban community, you know and I know most of the misnomer discolored people are Democrats. So in the city of Flint, it ain't when it's going for mayor, it ain't no Democrat going against no Republican. It's Democrats going against Democrats because you have three that's running, and then at the end you have two that's going for the mayor and all this. They both Democrats. So when we say these things, I'll be like, Democrats can't get along. What's the Democrat agenda when you got two Democrat mayors fighting for office and they both saying they're going to do something better, but y'all both Democrats. And everybody that's sitting in a city hall is Democrats. Like, make it make sense to me, y'all. No one can make this stuff, it don't make sense. You know? And so when a person said, well, they lying to do this, that ain't what I'm saying. I know people lie to get in there, but still the people, law and policy. I ask Democrat brothers, well, what's the agenda? Well, you know, I just vote Democrat across the board. Why? What if it was something on that ballot that was from a Republican that was real good? You're gonna say, well, I ain't voting for that because they Republican, or I ain't gonna deal with that because they Democrat. Why? And you in a certain community. Why? I always ask my people that, especially about politics. I said, people vote in the city of Flint, everybody is Democrat. It's not no Republicans on the city council. It's not. It's all Democrats. And they can't get along. Tell me why. And so that's the reverse DEI, where I say, yes, I get that, but I want people that's qualified, anointed, and consecrated. Not nobody in there that just saying, oh, it's a popularity contest and vote for me because you like me, because I said some things. And then when I get in office, I don't know how to do nothing. You know? Why lie? That's all I ask, brothers, especially in my city of Flint. I said, this is a joke. All these people are Democrats. It ain't no Democrat and a Republican arguing with no one. Come on, my people. Like I said, we got to do better than that. You know? Somebody say something. You know? I'm texting my homeboy. He like, you right, bro. Yep. 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 And that's what I try to tell people in our city of Flint. I said, come on, man. We can't act like we don't know what I'm talking about. I ask everybody, if you're a Democrat, then what is the Democratic agenda? You know? What's the Democrat agenda? That's all I ask people. When we on here, we should be not, if you a troll, then be a, what do you say, stop, let me. Cause I told y'all, man, I'm doing two things at one time. And people would be like, I'm like, dude, I'm doing three things at one time. I just got home from the university and I'm on here, I'm on YouTube. Somebody say stop hiding. I'm moving my chair back and forth. I got my laptop. That's why I say distractions and us, us as a people, we so messed up, man. We so messed up because we can't even focus on what's going on. You want to see me that bad? Like, why? Why you want to see me? You should be hearing what I'm saying. That's why I say everything with misnomer our people when it comes down to things that's important is on how you feel. Or I ain't gonna vote for what's right. I ain't gonna do this right. Why? Because I don't like this person, or I don't like the car they drive. I don't like the clothes they wear. You understand? That's what I'm saying with a lot of us, our people, and social media. That's what happened to us. I say a lot of these grown people, they really need therapy. A lot of grown adults on social media need therapy. Real talk. Why? Because the things that they say on social media, knowing you wouldn't say it to no one face. If I just didn't have my face on here and I'm speaking, somebody be like, I want to see you. Why? You should be here for the lesson to learn, not to be looking at me, unless you're some groupie. And that's what I've seen with a lot of misnomer black people when it comes down to politics and voting. When a person say, man, we need to get this person out of here. And then you see those people talking didn't even vote. When most of the people that's in the city and they be on social media talking about things, and when you do the audit, because it's easy to do the audit, look at the numbers, who's registered to vote in certain areas, you will say, well, sir, you didn't, or ma'am, you didn't even vote. As an American, you didn't even vote for law and policy. For instance, when certain things on the ballot, because marijuana used to be illegal, it wasn't recreational. I asked a lot of people when that came on the ballot, did people vote? Because that been on the ballot for a long, long time. Hold on, I got it. Those things been on the ballot for a long time. And so no one never talk about it. So when I ask people that vote Democrat and Republican, and a Democrat and Republican in one house will be arguing with each other, a Democrat and a Republican will argue with each other in a household. And so I'm able to have these conversations, and I'm able to sit and discuss and talk about these things with other nationalities and other so-called dignitaries. And it's just a big difference. It's just a big difference. I know a lot of people won't vote for what's right because, or you're not a Christian. And I'm not talking about myself. I've heard people in the city hall. You can pull up all these city hall meetings in Flint. It used to be a lady named Pobler. It used to be a city council named Donald Pobler. She used to wear all these big, goofy hats to me, whatever. She thought it was dope, whatever. And then a conversation, she like, well, God got to do with everything, and God got this and this. And it was another city council on there, a different nationality lady. She was like, it's this many million people in the world. And everybody not Christian, everybody not Muslim, blah, blah, blah. But that shouldn't stop us from what's doing right and doing what's right for the people. And the lady like, well, I'm a Christian and God do this. And the lady was saying, but ma'am, that don't have nothing to do with what you're doing right for the people. Because what if this person don't believe how you believe and their heart is pure? And you say, well, God got everything to do with our decision. They say, God ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm God. I know what's right and what's wrong. Well, no, God told you to do this. So you're not going to work with this person? And that's how she was down there arguing on something personal. And I said, your personal feelings should never get in the middle of what's right. That's just like good cop, bad cop. I said, it's no different. So you don't want to work with this woman because she says her personal belief is not that. But this woman, right, she wants what's right for the people and what's the people in the community, because she says she worked for the people, not her personal agenda. I'm rocking with you, ma'am. I don't care what color you are. I'm rocking with that person right there. I'm not rocking with no sister that get on there with some big church hat on and say, oh, if you ain't a Christian and you don't believe God, okay, that's asinine. Well, you shouldn't even be in that position. You should have your own, whatever church you believe in. You shouldn't be in this position that you work for the people. What up, bro? Oh, not much was popping. No, he said he was coming over yesterday. He called every time he come in. He said he's gonna come by. Then he said if he don't come by yesterday, he was gonna come by today. So I just came back, picking my mom up from her visit. She doing good. She doing good. She just got back. She had to be there for like 3 hours. Where you at, bro? Okay, okay. I was finishing my little message. Let me hit you right back, bro. Okay. Okay, I'll hit you right back, bro. Yeah. That was my homie. But that's all I be asking my brothers. I'll be like, nah, man, you can't be like that. You can't if you're in a political position, you can't be like that. I understand everybody religion or belief system or whatever you into. If you into your African spirits, illegal, the Santeria, the Orishas, I'm with that. And then somebody will say, well, I ain't rocking with you because you this. But my heart is pure. I want the best for anybody that's been subjugated. And if I was in a political position, especially in the city of Flint, clearly I work for the people in the community. Clearly, my religious belief should be put to the side. And if I can't put that to the side, I'm above my pay grade. I'm above my pay grade. You telling me that knowing I am what I understand, because I'm not orthodox. I don't believe in nothing outside of myself. Do I understand? I understand the triple rules, the Paraclete, the Fatima, and the Jerusalem. But that's not going to stop me from doing work in the community. Because you may not have those personal religious beliefs with me. That's not contingent. It's not contingent on that in my brotherhood neither. It don't work like that with me. It don't work like that with me. I said, and I'm in my city of Flint, Michigan right now, but I live in Arizona. I wear my tunic every day in Arizona. I'm a counselor in Arizona. I done helped so many people that don't even look like me. So I can't even say out my mouth from the higher level of coming to peace to even speak like that in a lower level of time. So that to be a medicine man or a God, it's like if I'm a doctor and I'm pure and I'm saying I'm not going to do surgery on this other man or I'm not going to save this other kid. Oh man, that please. Then that means your gift is not from the creator. And that's what I'd be telling people. I said, you can talk that stuff, but at the end of the day, when we dealing with what's right, you cannot let your religious belief stop you from doing the work in your community, especially on this political level. Now we know about dictatorship. We know about all that. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is when we say in a community or in an urban community like Flint, when they say the Democrat and the Republican or this and this and Trump this, I said I get that. But what's going to really affect everybody in their everyday lives is voting local and state and federal. I get the president. I get all that. I really do, with all due respect. But if we can stay in context, and I know these things is going to affect you more in your everyday life. So you got a group of people in the city of Flint that choose not to vote, but live in the city and pay taxes and do all this. Why? Because your check getting taxed. Anytime you buy something, it's getting taxed. If you don't pay your property tax or your house, you lose it. So it's a tax, so you really don't own nothing. And so if we don't vote on things and be conscious of things as a free person, as an American, and vote on law and policy and really start really doing some real work and say, no, we're going to put somebody in. Why? Because the only way they get in is y'all vote them in. Or unless they win by default. How? You not voting. And the people that vote for them, the little tittle, they vote. And that's how you win. By a small fraction. So I tell my brothers again, once again, stop talking that Republican and Democrat stuff or thinking Republican and Democrat is the other man, the unmelanated or the melanated. No. In the city of Flint, they all Democrat. Think about it. When you running for a mayor, you gonna have two Democrat mayor candidates running against each other. Tell me online. The city hall, when you have the city councilman, they they all Democrat. If they ain't, then okay, well fine. It's 9 city councilmen. I guarantee you, man, and I ain't even gonna say 100% sure, but I'm pretty much sure. I know in most of these communities, they all come from the urban community. They all be Democrat. None of them be Republican. Because if they was Republican, do you think they would have got in? You tell me. And like I say, with the Tiffany Henner thing, that was in Dalton, and now she's running for a government position, and I'll be like, y'all don't see what's going on. If you're not good in this, what makes you think you're gonna be good in this? And then they play the game with y'all. I told you this is a game because they'll be Democrat and then they'll run for this position and be Republican. Why? Because they feel they can win. What you think they dealing with? The other man. I keep telling y'all, they'll put, listen to me, y'all, they'll put well, I won't say uneducated, unqualified people in these areas with that DEI per se stuff. Or we needed a woman or this, that, and the other, or someone unqualified. When you look at all these so-called urban areas or the hardest hit funds or the misnomered black community with the black mayors, the most of them are ran to the ground. Now you got to tell me why. Because they can't get along. I tell everybody, follow the money. Follow the money. What you mean? Audit the money. All you got to do, follow the money. And then people may not be stealing. What happens? Money becomes mismanaged. And when money becomes mismanaged, you can't point the finger at one. See, it's so much stuff people be barking and arguing up, but don't know, okay, is this person allowed to do this? How much room does this person have to do X, Y, and Z? This person might not be doing nothing wrong, or this person may be. So all these things, I see so much crazy stuff like at the city hall. Like, it's crazy, you know? Nothing getting done. Nothing getting done. You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Okay. But yeah, that was my homie. He was like, man, you're 100% right. He was like, I went down to the city council meeting the other day. It was hilarious. And then the only reason, when people be saying they love certain people, like before Peace Be Among His Spirit, Eric Mays, he was a city councilman in the city of Flint. He died. Everybody was like, well, how can I say about us? I'm trying to say it in the right way. We act like we, supporting someone, but when it's really, really, really time to support this individual or someone, and like Eric Mays, and it was time for run for mayor. Eric Mays never won for mayor, y'all. You know, so think about it. All the people cheering Eric Mays, Eric Mays. They made a mural out of him. Had him on Ricky Smiley and all this stuff. Everybody like that's the one that speaks for us because you speak laws, well not laws, the policy that's going on, which is fine. But you still have to know how to get things done. You still have to be able to work with people. You can't just be like that because if that's the case, nothing's going to ever get done. But make a long story short, why didn't all the people that say, "Ooh, Eric Mays," why none of them voted for him to be the mayor? And if some people say, "Yeah, we did," but not everybody, that's saying Eric Mays. And when you do the number, when you do the audit, you'll be like, "Well, it's enough for y'all." That if y'all Eric Mays, it's enough for y'all in voting age that say all that with this. All y'all had to do was vote. He would have won by a landslide. Then you get to turn the mirror on everybody, and then you could now just imagine if people can pull out the ballots. Just imagine if you can pull out the ballot, so someone right there be like, "Oh man, that's messed up. You ain't win," and you could get the ballot and see they ain't even vote for you. Or a person be like, "Yeah man, we voted for you. We voted for you," and you can get the ballot. You can audit and be like, "Man, no, you didn't. You ain't voted in 5 years." You see? You see? And that's what happens in a community with a whole bunch of discolored people thinking they're gonna change something. And I tell people, I said, dude, you gotta know better. We have to know better than this if you're gonna live in the community. If you're not living off the grid in your own land with your own community, and you live in a neighborhood and community where taxes being paid, where money's being issued in and out, where things is being decided, and you have no input on nothing. Like for instance, my uncle lived in one of the houses we used to own in a neighborhood on West Patterson. The city of Flint cut the tree down. It was a big old tree on like the curb. Then he had a big a tree. It's like in the yard. They cut all that stuff down and left all the stuff there. And I say, they gonna come get it up. He was like, yeah, they supposed to come pick it up. They ain't came picked it up yet. In Arizona, they cut some down. They had a big truck come, cut all that stuff in the motion. They truck, they gone. And I say, and they be like, well, what do you mean? Nobody says nothing. The messed up behavior is the norm. And that's what I be telling people. Don't have to accept these messed up behaviors as normal when it's dealing with the misnomer melanated people. We take all these messed up behaviors, these adults that haven't got their mind right, and talk about trauma or complain about things, and you ain't even in the arena to be complaining. Why? Because you're not a flexion or flexing or showing your right as an American to do what? Vote on law and policy that make a difference in your community. That's why. Like, what are we talking about? Especially my people from the city of Flint, Michigan. It'd be like, wait a minute, everybody can't be all Democrats and ain't nothing happening, because if that's the case, that's just like all of us whatever, in a gang, whatever, just all of us Democrats, and we can't pass nothing. And we got a Democrat, we ain't rocking with nothing. The mayor don't come to the city council meetings. Like, so how, like, you don't got time? Like, it ain't nothing going on in the city of Flint that much for the mayor and the city council. When they had a city council meetings, the mayor and the city council ain't there. Like that, like, what is going on? And I'm just, I'm like, brothers, we got to stop talking that white man this. I said, I ain't seen no misnomer white man in the city of Flint come burn nothing down. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. I seen people, that look like us that do all the messed up stuff in the hood. You know? And I said, oh, why do you say that? Because I'm in the city. Like, I see this stuff. Like, I'm making my business to be in the community, to be in the community and be seen, and go downtown and do all that to be seen. And I say, listen, I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. This is all y'all. Think about it. Everybody can't. No one can agree to nothing. So everybody that went to high school together went and see each other at the cigar bars and this and that and the other and blase splee. I'm like, all these people that's been around, because I can say so much of the gathering of people that see each other, then get down to the city hall and turn it to wow, like it's astronomical crazy. Because it be these same people that see each other out through the week, y'all. Hey, Joe, hey, and they down at the city hall going crazy. I like everybody like the count. What's her name? I can't even think of the council president. She went to Northern with me. I can't even think of her name. I can't think of her name. And I say, I don't disrespect people, but I say, y'all the one voted people in office. When you look at a person's background and personality, what made you think that they'd be good and what they doing? Tell me. Because if you can't say nothing, then that you voted because you like them, or they nice, or y'all go to church together, or y'all play hoop together at Northern. So if you can't say, well, why this, not the other, just because a person went to college and have a degree, that don't mean nothing. That's what I tell people. You have to be more than that. But learning something is one. When I say you don't have to lie about it if you don't have it. So I say, after we vote these people in offices, which we do, what gave you the inclination or the idea to be like, okay, yep, from their background and whatever, I think they'd be good. Why? Because they read a script. You know, what, or because someone did a good campaign and just said a lot of stuff. You know, and I say a lot of times we do that with people, with athletes and things. Just because a person plays sports don't mean they're good at really getting the job done. Because you can shake hands, but now if you don't know how to read budgets, if you don't know how to understand about money and deals getting done and doing and crossing your T's and dotting the I's and know how to be a good foreman to put people in position to make sure things are getting done, know how to work with your city council and all city council. Why? Because we all work for the people. We all supposed to be in synchronicity. This body's supposed to be like this. Why? Because last time I checked, we all work for the people. When you look at these city council meetings, they go from straight what they're supposed to be to straight personal attacks. They be up there at the city council meeting, they be up there having their phone out like they on. I'll be like, man, who want to be a part of that? And this is what I tell my people. I said, these are the people that we voted in office. And then people say, well, that's all we have to choose from. I said, the reason why this all we have to choose from, because we don't have an agenda. What you mean? If we feel in a community and everybody gathering at the community gatherings and they say, hey man, we really need such and such to do this in our community. We really need you to do this, blah, blah, blah. We're going to sit down and this is what needs to be happen. Then you put a real campaign together. That's how things happen. And it's more probable of that person winning. Why? Because the people backing it. But if not, nothing to change. And this is what I tell people. Why? Nothing to change, because it's everybody. It's a job to everyone. When you look at these things as a job and as a personal attack, when you're down there talking about people's personal business, that clearly tells me you're not there to get things done. You think this is some reality show. And that's what this stuff has became. These people have become caricatures. In our city of Flint, you got people coming from out of town and all this, and I'm not dissing no one. I say, I'm down for what's right. I'm not, and that's it. So the brother came from where Tiffany Henry from, what was her name, Jediah? Okay, whatever. To me, well, let me tell you things that's tasteless and stuff remind me of disrespect. Ain't no way how I feel about no politics or what's going on in the city, especially if I'm from the city. I'm not finna rile nobody up from the city of Flint to go take no casket to no mayor house. Man, off the dribble, if I ain't with the mayor, if I ain't rocking with the mayor, I ain't doing no disrespectful stuff like that to that man and that man family. And if he got kids, I ain't doing no stuff like that. And whoever feel that that's right, clearly something wrong with you. And then to protest around that man house, that remind me of some old Malcolm X stuff. See, stuff couldn't be me because it already been handled. Ain't nobody coming, you coming to my house with my kids over this. If you don't like what I'm doing, no decision I'm making, just vote me out of office. That's all y'all do. No, let's see if this man win another term. If he win another term, then what can people say? Hell, Trump won another term, didn't he? I told you, people do the strangest things. I done told y'all, people do the strangest thing, be barking like a dog, let them off the chain, nothing. People do the strangest things. Ain't no way nobody in the city of Flint, because most of these people, before this man was mayor, they used to call him Nickelback Neely. So that means people know him. Why? Because if you know him Nickelback Neely, that means that's a nickname, right? From what, just my basic understanding. So that means you know him from what? Being whatever. So if that's the case, you have no business doing no stuff like that. You have no business taking no casket to no man's house with his wife and his children. You have no business letting nobody from a whole nother era rile you up and then protesting at this man's house. Because that reminds me of some Malcolm X stuff, like I said earlier. And that's a violation. That's a violation. And my muftis of Allah would have been there and handled it. How? Any way they felt due. Any way they felt due. And I'm okay with it. And I have to face the consequences. Because I told you, that's a violation. I said it ain't no codes no more. They act like this some reality show. I told people. So why the kids gonna respect it? They ain't, cause they be like, look what the adults doing. They out here acting a plum fool. I told people, I said, man, I ain't with that. I don't have to be with the or like the mayor decisions, but I don't want. It ain't like that. Because if I don't like what's going on, then we must do what? Flex our ability as what? Americans or whatever citizens in this community. If we're going to use the right verbiage, then do what? Vote the individuals out of office. I don't, because you ain't nobody doing it to the other man. Ain't nobody do that to nobody that really did something to the misnomer black man. Ain't nobody do that to what's his name, Zimmerman. Ain't nobody do none of this to that. Ain't nobody do nothing when these people do this and that to you. But then here it is. We talk about people in the city of Flint. You not thinking that you will let somebody rile you up that come from a whole nother area to put to march with a casket at the mayor house that you might have went to school with. That when you see him in the city, like, hi. That you don't like this man that bad. You ain't doing that. You ain't doing it to the president or to nobody else. And that's what I'm saying. Our focus, we have lost our focus, because we operating on how we feel, not operating on, well, if we all, as a collective, as a majority, if that's the case, feel that this person is not doing right, we're not going to personal attack this man, family. Why? We just gonna, when it's time to vote, what you gonna do? You gonna flex do it right. You gonna vote, and y'all gonna vote this person out. Now you just ain't gonna vote him out for another person that that don't know nothing. Say, well, we just give this person a chance. Why? Well, because we gave this person a chance, so you gonna get somebody in there that really don't know nothing and start all over again. That's what I'll be telling us. We don't prepare, or we don't pick our own. The other men, they pick their own. They be groomed for this stuff. This is what I'm saying. You have to be picked, selected. Just like in more science, not no elected. We selected. How? From your understanding, from your wisdom. And this is what I'm telling us as a people. We have to select someone. If they're willing to represent. Why? Because we know this, that, and the other. And they're talking, we know their agenda. Why? Because we having community meetings once or twice a week. This the agenda, this the agenda. We want this to pass, this to pass. Hey, do y'all know these was from this community? Why we ain't never known that? Because no one bringing it to you. This stuff go back, boom, boom. And they getting kickbacks per se. Why these certain people kept getting these grants and all this? Or why we don't know about these grants? Because these people getting kickbacks. A lot of stuff you bring to the people. Why no new nonprofits in the community not getting funded? Because these people playing the game, they getting the kickback. They gatekeepers. That's how. I'm telling you what it is. It's funded for everything in the city. It's funded for everything. Might not be much as other places, but it's funding there. Why? Because damn Mott, the Mott Foundation, what's his name? I forget the man name of Mott, but y'all know, right downtown. Man, it's money for that. They ain't finna let these people in the city council and the mayor destroy all that. I'm telling you, it's millions on millions on millions on millions on millions on millions. This is what I know. And I'm telling people, they're not gonna let these people in the city of Flint mismanage things. A lot of this stuff finna blow over. And a lot of people in the city of Flint, in the so-called urban community, what a annual earning is like $20,000. It's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. I'm telling you, why everybody arguing over the things, not telling what's thing. When you talk about martial law in a certain area, you're gonna really see martial law. You're gonna really see it, and that people say that's what they want. And I say no, because everybody, when they arguing, especially in a small city of Flint, I say, well, everybody Democrats. So what we talking about? And I understand activism and all that. I tell people this is a repeated thing. I said, no one should disrespect no one. You don't want, no, I don't care if I don't agree with nothing the mayor say. I am not convincing no one to go in front of this man's house with no casket. No way possible. And anybody do that is disrespectful and tasteless. But then I bet you everybody say they some religion. I bet you everybody come together to disrespect. I bet you everybody say they some type of religion. So y'all don't have somebody come out that's not from the city of Flint that can go back home and come here and rile you up to do that. Instead of you sitting down and say, we're gonna pick this our brother from the community. We're gonna pick Simba Daly L to run. Why? Because he educated, anointed, he consecrated, this, and that, and the other. That's what you do. But to do something like this is tasteless. It just remind me of subjugation. It just remind me of disrespect. It just remind me of bad juju. I mean, oh, so you here it is. People stoop so low, and you go to the mayor house with a casket, and then the same individual come back and rile people up to do that. And when it's time to vote, this man will win again. Why? Because the people ain't voting, just like they did in Dalton with the lady Tiffany Henry, and now she's running for a whole nother position, and she done switched over to a Republican. I told y'all this is a game. People mean, what you mean, Sheik? Dude, you have no idea. If anybody know civics and politics, they be like, that man telling y'all the truth. It ain't about no color, because I know all my European colleagues, they sons of Muslims. I can say way more, but I'm not. This is all about power. Point blank. And I don't got to share everything. That's why a lot of stuff need to be secret. Why? Because you give it to somebody too early, they'll cut their head off. This is what I'm saying. I'm like, and then a lot of these people went to school with these people. I'm like, you don't feel that way about this individual. Because if you don't feel that way, like that, like you want something to happen to it. If you really sit down with with a right mind, you really not like, you don't want to do that or see no harm come to no one. Because to me, that's a harmful gesture. Somebody bringing a casket to my house, that's worse than anything. That remind me of some Klan stuff. I don't care what nobody say. With all due, I said that remind me, like man, my mind started tripping. Like I'll flip out. I'll be ready to, turn to the grizzly bear and be like, no, everybody that with this, we getting everybody. And we're going to remember like an elephant. That's all I'm saying. And then when I see you, no matter where it's on like that, why? Because to do that, and if you know anything about hoodoo or anything like that, man, come on, man. If you know anything about that, what would possess you to go in the mayor house, in front of his house with a casket? And somebody rile us up to do that. Tell me, I ask everybody with some sense, would you want someone to do that to you if you was doing things and maybe the things that you're doing is not right for the people? I don't know. Maybe you sincere and you sincerely wrong. I don't know. But the whole thing, would you want someone to do that to you and your family if you say you do, something wrong with you? And that's what's wrong with people. They just be barking. I be like, man, you won't vote. Y'all all Democrat. To have someone come from a whole nother area and put a casket in front of the mayor house or do that, that's bad juju. And that's on your hands. Because if you care about anything about law and policy, this, and that, and the other, you vote. You operate as a human being. That's what I be telling people. They don't know. That's why I say it's all how you feel. It's not on nothing, no law and policy. I ask brothers, well, what's the agenda? What you mean the agenda? Man, what's the agenda? Because I don't care if you can sing and dance. That's a court gesture to me. You can sing and dance. Okay, well, go sing and dance like they told LeBron them. Go dribble. This is what I keep telling y'all, man. It remind me of marching. Okay, after we march, then what? Ain't nobody putting no money behind nothing. I say this all day. I said, man, you can march all day. Okay, ain't nobody putting no money behind nothing. Because if you is, let's do it right now. I'll put up what I say, then you put up what you say. And then what? And it ain't going to happen. This is what I'll be telling us. I said, well, let's put our pennies together. It ain't going to happen. Everybody Democrats in the community, man. And you know it. It ain't no Democrats and Republicans going against each other. Not in my city of Flint. I don't even think people know when the mayor, when you have three, and then when they go down to the final two, the three, they all be Democrats, and then when the two going for the mayor, they Democrats too. Damn near all the city hall Democrats. So I don't know what I don't know what people talking about. Clearly. So it's like Crips on Crips, blood on blood. One mob on my that like, yeah, it don't go like that. But that's the reverse on us, how they did with gangs. And I said they used this for power. Because the 6-point star and the 5-point star belong to us. But you hear Hebrew Israelites and so-called Moors clashing. That's why I be laughing. People people be supporting a religious perspective. And I'll be saying you lost. Why? Because you don't understand the uniting of one brotherhood. And that's how when a whole bunch of brothers will go somewhere, they get in their splinter groups. And that's how they'd be took out. Why? You ain't got to do nothing because everybody get in their splinter group. We'd take each other out. It's that simple. Before the big agenda happened, we already done. We all so hurt. Everybody limbs messed up. When the real time come down to we got to do something, we all messed up. So this what I be asking people. I said, wait a minute now. Like, I think we barking down the wrong tree because everybody Democrats in the neighborhood, the mayor Democrat, right? The city council Democrat, right? The people that's voting, supposedly, in the city of Flint that's voting, how are these people continue to win and win second terms and do all this if they not this or they're not that and you're voting them in? Or if you're not voting and these people winning by how? A small fraction. Why? Because the people that support them may be voting. So can someone explain that to me? That's what I'll be telling people. People be wanting to, I said, after your agenda is over, in politics, it can't be about you. That's just like me. I'm in politics and all I be talking about is what happened to my brother. Man, it happened to a lot of people. Before the baby was took off the face of the earth a couple days ago, a lot of people was. Last year, the 810, a little girl lost her life. So it just can't matter when it hit home. It has to become a main agenda. And so when it becomes a main agenda, like I be talking about law and policy, I know what our brothers don't know. When a person vote right now, when you vote for a president, whatever, because everybody be like, I voted. Do you vote for a Democrat or Republican across the board? Everybody be like, yeah. Most people don't vote for law and policy. Most people don't vote for the things that they be like, oh, this Republican thing was good, or this was good, or this good. Because you can. Most people vote across the board. What you vote for, your CEO. You know it. I know it. You know, it's no disrespect to no one. A person can sit up here and act like they want to. This is an easy audit. So most people vote across the board, and most melanated people, they vote Democrat. Why? Because my mom was Democrat. Or you get the reverse. Well, you know, it was a republic before. Yeah, we know that. But that was then. We get that. We talk about let's stay current. Let's stay in the proper context. So if that's what's going on and everybody Democrat, this sound like a family feud. If I was judging from unbiasedness, I'd be like the psychosis of y'all people. Because I already would have been figured out y'all are Democrats. I already been figured out all y'all went to school each other and y'all see each other on the weekend. Y'all kids know kids. I already would have figured that out already. Because the only way you can do that, y'all got to live in a certain area. You got to vote for a certain time to be on the ballot. So that'll tell me off the top something wrong with the mental of who? Everybody. And this is before the water. So you can't blame it on the water. You can't blame it on the water. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because the water wasn't messed up when I was in high school. The water wasn't messed up when I was in high school. It right here running through the city of Flint, up and down West Pad. It wasn't, so can't nobody tell me that. Can't nobody tell me that. What you can tell me, and we got to be honest about, is this is a family feud because everybody Democrats. It's just like if we a brotherhood, we ain't letting nobody outside come in and try to rile us up and try to have us infighting. Come on. Now, anybody that understand, if you GD, growth and development, you know exactly what I'm saying. You're not going to let nobody come from the outside and rile things up. I don't care how we feel about the decisions that's going on with such and such. We ain't letting this happen. Why? Because this is the way we handle things. I'm telling you, man, everybody know it's a code of ethics. Everybody know. It's a code of ethics. What? In everything you do. If you don't understand that, that's the problem with the youth today, because there's no code of ethics. I'm telling you, we ain't being 100% truthful. Why? Because you can see old people on the internet arguing and fighting like you do now. What? You watch one city council meeting, man, you would be like, I never watch this again. Nobody showed up the other day. Why would you? And they up there acting like it's a personal thing. It's things that happened months ago. They still ain't figured. They still ain't handled it. I be like, this crazy, man. This madness. But everybody, all y'all Democrats, am I right or wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong because everybody from the neighborhood is Democrats. Everyone. It's sad. And then it's another thing, what my homie say, he like, I know you right, Sheik. Here it is. And it's people that should be on the same agenda. It's people in the city that should be on the same agenda. But see, it's a lot of people that want their own piece of the pie. And I say, you can have your piece of the pie. It ain't going to be nothing. Just like I can have my piece of the pie. It ain't going to be nothing without the people. That's why I be telling people, what's your agenda? Because if your heart is not pure, then you got an agenda. People don't even unite. People don't even unite. And that's what I'm saying. They don't. And that's how nothing happened. Because everybody spread. They want us to be spread. They want us to be spread like that, where one person might be barking a little noise. He might got a little noise over here. This brother might got a little noise over here. This brother got a little noise over here. This brother got a little noise over here. But these brothers from the same damn neighborhood. They from the same neighborhood. Or what you somebody greater than I? This is what I be telling people. Man, it's a bigger mission than you. This is what I be telling people, man. It's a bigger mission. If it's not, then what is it? It's all personal agenda. Why? Because if people feel that way about what's going on, you got to vote. Or you got to sit down with your people and manipulate the system. How? Because the person that you vote on, that's who you put in. That's who y'all got confidence in. That's who y'all talking to. That's who you like, man, or sir, or man, we need you to come back to the community and X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And we got the numbers. This going to happen. Why? Because we need that. And we know what you're going to do. That's why. This what the other man do. When we talk about the agenda, nothing happens osmosisly. I told you, they be selected, not elected. What you mean? The people select you. Y'all don't understand this? Like I've been telling y'all, if you're not really, really anointed and consecrated, and this not your background, you will be lost. How? Because of how you feel. Because most people don't know. Most people don't know this. This is what I be telling people. Just because I said I'm not going to put nobody in position because you believe or in some type of religion. I got to put you in that position. How? Because you understand what you're doing and you can read policies and this, that, and the other. And you know how to make decisions. All those things is contingent on that. I can't put you in no position or want you to be in no position because your religious belief. I don't want that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. That's all I be having to say, man. It's like it really hurts my heart. And then my homie that I know in Flint, he was like, man, it leave a bad taste in people's mouth when they can sit and everybody can say, oh, the people's champ. like Eric Mays was the people champ, and nobody voted this man to be mayor. Nobody voted. All the barking when you see people taking pictures behind his background, and I say, no matter how dope you say he was, you ain't vote him to be the mayor of the city. If he knew everything about law and all this, and he know this and this, and everybody making memes of it. Because to me, all I saw was memes. When people from different places, they're like, "You from Flint, Sheik?" Yep. They're like, "You know this Eric Mays?" And I'm like, "Yep." They wasn't saying it, and they was talking about the memes, and it became from a serious matter to a joking matter. It just from what others was, explaining it to me. And then I say, well, on that aspect, I say, well, you kind of right. Why? And they'd be like, why? Because ain't nobody vote for him to be the mayor. Even when Don Williamson was the mayor, and certain people used their influence because they thought Don Williamson was going to give him a position. And it never happened. And like I said, people don't be knowing what's going on with politics because they're not involved in it. And a lot of times it's not their background, you know? And so I tell people, I say, okay, I know what go on. A person people in a certain area, let's do this. Why? Because this going to happen and this is going to happen. But really, only thing that they really praying to happen is they get a job, And so when I be saying that, a lot of stuff be fake love, and now when the person gone, everybody say this good stuff about him. Everybody say, oh, the city would have been this if Eric Mays was alive. Okay, well, when he was alive, no disrespect. Well, how was it? Because it wasn't no different. A whole bunch of people down there arguing, y'all, really, it's a reality show. It don't mean nothing. And so that means you like a character. If you like a character, if they're down there arguing and you say, okay, well, what's really, really happening? You can say out of all the arguing that these certain individuals are doing, nothing is happening. Why? Because if it was, no one would be arguing. If the things that you're arguing over for years come to fruition, tell me what's to argue about now. This is simple mathematics. We ain't even doing geometry or nothing, trigonometry. This is simple 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3s. Like, it's on and on and on and on and on. And I said, if that's the case, what is a person's agenda? And if they all Democrats, then tell me what's the Democratic agenda. Then you got to start picking people out. And it ain't going to happen. Can't tell me. And that's what I'll be saying. I'll be like, man, this stuff be fake, man. This stuff be fake. What my homie say? He said, just like when bro died, he was like, people be knowing a lot of stuff and a lot of things be fake. I know it do. I know it do. And for people to get behind a person from another community and for a person to be okay with someone bringing a casket to a mayor house in the city of Flint that don't even live in the city, that's so tasteless. And if anybody say they with that to me, that's just so whack. And that tell me something about your character. And I'll ask a person if your child was the mayor or anything, or if it was you, and based off the right or the wrong that you may have done. Because some people clearly thinking the mayor doing right. Everybody don't think the mayor doing wrong. So would you want someone to do that to you or your loved ones? Would you want somebody to do that to you? If you say no, then you can't be with this situation. You can't be with that situation. Why? Because when a person get in a political position, they have the right to do whatever they doing in that position. If it pass, if it pass, and these people Democrat and you don't want it, then that tell you something about the Democratic agenda. This what I'm saying. Like the irony in what people be doing. I be like, dude, listen. If this Democrat mayor, which everybody Democrat, is doing things that's not people don't like, and every mayor was Democrat, what's the Democratic agenda? Because a person say, what, schools? What schools? I see a lot of charter schools that's out of community. When you hear people say, oh, a good education, they don't say public school, or I'm going to send my kid to this public school in the city of Flint for a good education. They say, I'm going to send my kid to this private school for a good education. In the city of Flint, a lot of people, they'll go to Powers. You know, Powers Catholic School for a good education. So when a person say, okay, well, what's the Democratic agenda? And no one can tell you this stuff. It'd be all personal. Just like last year, they were in front of the house, in front of the city hall. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? And then when you look at the comments, when people like, what? They're like, y'all got energy to be doing this. And then you will look at the response from people that's justifying that. Like, what's doing that going to prove anything? I just said, shoot the basketball, Tyrone. Rap, dance, entertain us. Because telling me what is that going to do and why? And it just shows you where our mind be at and where that mental slavery is there. Why? Because we going to dance. Like I said, who comes up with something like that? The minute's like, okay, we're going to coordinate a dance in front of City Hall to where them fans at. That's where the mental be. And I say, okay, after all them people out there, let's see how many of those people actually vote for what they dancing for. Because if all people, even them kids, that's a certain age that do that, what happen? What you say, Noble? Hold on, let me read it. You said, hold on, let me see. You said, Sheik, why don't people believe? Hold on. Let me see. Let me pop it up. Because that was a good question. Sheik, why don't people believe that voting rights and other things are granted privileges in the 14th, 15th, 16th Amendment? Well, that's another thing, which I always talk about people when they think they 14th Amendment Negroes. This is things I always ask people. I say, okay, when you see the proclamation declaration that was signed by all the mayors, when people don't understand about the power of certain voting locally and state, like because the brothers did, that's why they came to the temple. That's why certain mayors in those areas were put in office. Why? Because those Moors and those brothers from the Moorish Science Temple helped get those certain mayors in. So when people say, Sheik, why don't people believe that voting rights and other things are granted privileges in the 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment? I don't know why they don't understand that. A lot of misnumbered black people call themselves 14th Amendment Negroes. A lot of people don't understand the Constitution with the 20 sections. It's a lot of people that just say, well, because personal things, not understanding all the way, because we've been told some things. So I don't know why. People be standing on things, and I'll be like, well, why are you standing on that? If we don't understand the precedent in law or the doc number or the Free Information Act to back up what we're saying, I think a lot of stuff be from what we've heard, you know? Because if a person take a basic civics class and really understand and not from a religious perspective, I think they'll be like, man, that's right. So I couldn't tell you why people don't believe that. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't. But then I can tell you again, if you live in a certain community, you know, and you paying taxes, which every Moor paying taxes, which a lot of Moors will be lying about. Well, I don't pay no taxes. Well, your house will be foreclosed on. I don't know who you think you fooling. Well, lower your deed. Yo, nope, not no local and state in there. Nope, all that stuff I'm throwing out the window. I don't be wanting to hear that stuff. Oh, I don't pay no taxes. Oh, yes, man, go on, man. Yes, you do. You got a job. Yep, you paying taxes. So a lot of stuff, to me, people just be saying and not doing, once again, based on what they heard, what they seen, not understanding how the world operates, not understanding how you're supposed to operate. Because, Islam back to you, Noble, because I tell people, in order not to participate in nothing, you need to be on your own land. In order to not participate on nothing, you need to be on your own land. This is what I tell people when they say, well, I just own my own. Not in no local neighborhood where the local law and the state law is going to override anything. So if a person feel like they don't have to abide by nothing, X, Y, Z, then you should have your own land. And most people don't. And most people go to the store, get their groceries, the clothes we got on is bought from a place. So a lot of things to me, I don't even be speaking on because it'd be meaningless. And I say, okay, can you use it? Well, I know how to build an airplane. Okay, great. It costs to build an airplane. So once again, I don't know. You know, somebody said, what he asked you again, Sheik? Okay, let me read it all again. He said that, Sheik, why don't people believe that voting rights and other things are granted privileges in the 14th, 15th, 16th Amendment? I would ask the person, well, can you elaborate on it? And I want to hear a person's perspectives. I love to hear people's perspective. I don't judge them or nothing, but I answer everybody question. I want to hear a person's perspective. A lot of times it be something that they heard, or it be some, I'm not saying you, but it be some genre that they got. Like a certain people religion, they'd be like, well, we were taught by such and such, 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 or we were taught to believe such, 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 such. I got to call my boy back. You know, I got to call my partner back. I know he calling. But that's how a lot of people do. They'll come from that religious perspective, and they'll be foaming at the mouth. There we go. Now answer the question. Now, great question. Now we get into it. You say, let's deal with it. And anybody can elaborate. How would someone raise awareness to these issues from being a 14th Amendment slave to show brothers the fact so we can cast, watch this, so we can cast national ballots and really get to building? I like you, Jay. I see, I like when brothers are not here to argue with nothing, but be like, well, brother, like, okay, well, if 1 + 1 is this, one, we need to one. We don't go out the other people that agree to disagree when they have an agenda, they don't be on social media arguing with each other. Number two, I got a whole platform where we talk about these things where it's private. But I would elaborate on that. Why we don't? You said, how could someone raise awareness to these issues from being a 14th Amendment slave to show brother? Because most people are not understand. They don't understand the 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment. They don't understand manumissions. They don't have an understanding. So we don't have an understanding. What can happen? We don't have an understanding. Such and such said, oh, I watched this YouTube video. You see? That's what happens. And everybody, one, have to be honest. If you don't know what Brother Jay was just saying about the 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment and certain things that was given to you and certain things, when we talk about how certain was the sneakiest things, you know, because if the 13th Amendment freed all XYZ, you know, come on, then there's no need for this and that and the other, because we're talking about mathematics. So a lot of our people don't know. Another one, a lot of our people that do know, that's attorneys and things, they took the oath to confuse people with the person, place, and thing. They did that. A lawyer will lie in your face about that. Oh, this freed us. No, it ain't. You just changed power. So we're not educated in this. And religion, if you might be a Hebrew Israelite or a Nation of Islam Muslim or a Mason or more or something else, they're going to all be arguing over something they have no idea why, based on what someone told them, a religion. That's why we can't. So number one, we got to let all that go. We have to be able to get a flush and fill and reboot our hard drive. And most brothers not willing to do that. Most brothers not willing to do that. Most brothers are not willing to what? Resurrect, whatever you want to say, put yourself back to the state before you were tampered with. Brothers not willing to do that. You say, I tried to tell them amendments make you slave that have civil rights. Oh, I love you. I love this conversation. Let's keep going. Let me finish reading what you're saying, Noble. I try to tell people that them amendments make you slave that having rights is being allowed to sit at a white to sit at a white establishment, but not the human rights to have a fair job, to pay for the meal. And anyway, how you to get civil rights, you got to have human rights. I'm going to break some down where I'll be laughing at a lot of these brothers that call themselves sheiks, and I call them paper terrorists, a.k.a. Roger Elvig. You know, it's a scholar named Charles A. Wiseman. And he written a plethora of books. They use them in Harvard, and one of them is Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And then it's another document that I have that I teach at Harvard, and it breaks things down so beautifully. And I say a lot of us, we haven't been introduced to these things. Nothing's new under the sun. If it's precedented, if it's law cases, if it's dot number, if it's the Free Information Act, a lot of us haven't been introduced to it. To the Chicago Law Review, quid pro quo, a lot of these things that you would be like, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Civiliter mortis, that misnomer black is dead in the eyes of the law. I don't care what you say. When they say, well, state your name for the record. Anytime they say black in the news, baby, that you have no rights. No black is going to get no reparations. I don't care if anybody on here with that pro-black stuff, man, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to look at you because you know black is an adjective, and black was never used to describe ethnicity in the first century. Black was used to describe when the theater curtain came down. So if you operating on that, you can go get Ben Crump. And I guarantee you, Ben Crump gonna get paid regardless if he win or lose. But ain't no black people finna get no reparations, identifying as no Negro, black, and color, or African American, something that's synonymous to slave. And these facts. So a lot of stuff really don't matter if a person don't understand that, because we have to get some things agreed with before we can even go there. You see, and most people don't understand that. They still doing this no matter what religion they is. From the lack of knowing, they talk that, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm the black man. I'm the black man. I'm strong. Well, Negro, black, and color, and African American are all synonymous to what? Slave. And if you don't understand that, I'm not going to argue and try to convince no one. That's how we messed up. So you got to ask your people that talk that black stuff, do you believe in reparations? Because I do. Just like the next man believe in reparations. But I know no Negro, black, or color, or African American that's operating as some that is going to get nothing. And then I ask these people that swear they're so smart, what's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? Because we're talking about human rights now, so let's just deal with it and open the whole Pandora's box. This is stuff, this ain't got nothing to do with me, this is precedent law. What's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? Most of these religious people on here that talk that pro-black stuff don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Especially the ones that say they got an education in civics, or these Moors, I deal with civics. No, you don't. You deal with sovereign citizen stuff, which is an oxymoron. So when a person tell me what's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, anybody on here, I don't care if you know more or nothing, if you down for the rights of the people and human rights and all that, tell me what's the Declaration of Human Rights. They can't spit it out, but they can spit out some rhetoric that'll separate people. I'm unite us. This is one nationality and many cultures. This is a uniting of Eurasia. What does the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 says? See, we're supposed to know this. So when we talk about the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment, and the 16th Amendment, and manumissions, before we even get there, we're going to already be coming to this as an agreement. That's what I tell people. They need to come to school. And it'd be broken down easy, and I'll give you the literature. This is what I tell people. Yep, everyone got a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim of child replaces the birth certificate. And no one would be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. Arbitrarily mean can't no one sit up here and tell you what you are and what you not. Not me, no one, nobody else. So that means can't nobody nationalize you or denationalize you. It'll change you from the descendant nature of your foremothers and your forefathers. If anybody you met on the internet or anywhere say they can nationalize you, tell them nationalize a Sudanese, a Chinese, or a Vietnamese. Only thing they can do is make you a member of their group or their Masonic lodge. That's it. And that's facts. No matter how no one like it. What's the House Joint Resolution 75? What's the House Joint Resolution 75? What's the religious rights of the indigenous people? Like, a lot of stuff, people run behind religion. That's why nothing will happen. So when we talk about this 14th and 15th and 16th Amendment, Noble, our people can't even agree to who we are. Because you're gonna hear brother like, well, we all Hebrew Israelites. Okay, well, Hebrew is the language, and then if we want to get in context, Hebrew is just something that was done, which is an act. We can get all in the real scholarship, but a person they never been there. We can get all in the scholarship, but people will argue. Why? Because based on how they believe, and I don't operate on how nobody believe. Because right under believe, it's a word called belie. What? Believing in things that you can't prove. So I'm not wasting my time with no one that just banging on a religion and they stuck in this religion. That's why we ain't gonna get nowhere, brother. Because it's something that we don't know, and because we don't know, a lot of people feel like, well, this, not, and the other. And I'm like, well, see, that's the problem. I say that be the problem with it, because everybody run to that religion. We all Hebrews, just like Kyrie Irving did. First, Kyrie Irving got everybody riled up years ago. We Hebrews for Negroes and Hebrews. Now Kyrie Irving, he going through Ramadan. He do 5 salats. He a practicing Islam Muslim now, but not too long ago, I thought he was a Hebrew Israelite. You know, that's why I be saying, y'all, this ain't nothing but Crips and Bloods. Because how you don't change. You got another, it's the Moorish Ishmaelite. Like I be telling people, like, people don't lost their marbles because through a lack of knowledge. Most people don't lost their marbles, our brothers, through a lack of knowledge and don't want to admit it. So they choose a certain banner. And that's how it happened. Would you say it's sad brothers be trying to say that they are Native American and all the tribes and its family, name, or ethnicity? Watch this. Ethnicity, not a nationality, totally disregarding the Sundry Moore Act. Well, let's and it's easy, good, and I love all the Sundry Moore. Let's say it's sad brother be trying to say that they are Native American. Okay, I just want to get that. Native American is not specific. Just like Appalachian. Like, yes, you native to America. I get that. When we talk about the Appalachian, yes, you are native to America or indigenous to the land. I get that too. But Native American is not specific. Native American, I deal with specifics because Native American can be a broad thing. That's what I tell people. Remember, we just read the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. So I tell people, I go to level of old peace. That's why I be showing people things first, and then they'll go against the grain. And I say, well, what's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 then? If we know that, said, well, everybody got a right. So we need to be focused. We ain't worried about no $5 India. We ain't worried about no one that want to roll like that. We need to be worried about what we can do and what we can fix. The rest, we ain't worried about that. And that's what I tell people. We be too worried about everyone. I said, what about the people you dealing with? Do your wife believe in that? Do the people you believe in that? Do your person or surrounding believe in that? That make a difference. If not, our focus is, we ain't focused on the ones that agree. Like right now, all these people on my page. I go to Howell, Michigan and lecture. My professor is a potentate and he's a Jewish, at his church. I go out there and lecture and get a gang of donations. I give books and everything. I come over here. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I don't get donations. Why? I don't know. Do I ask? No. But I say it's certain things that our brothers and sisters got to understand with wisdom. And people have the right to. And people have the right not to rock with nothing that I'm saying. Regardless how many times I say it, we have to be okay with that. That's what I tell people. That's why we are Americans. Why? Because we have the choice. That's why I say no dictator era. You have the choice to say, okay, I'm with it. People have the choice no matter if they rocking with what's right or if they rocking with what's wrong. Look how long we've been rocking with what's wrong. Look at what brothers right now rocking with what's wrong right now today. Brothers get on here and be arguing Hebrews and Moors and religious brothers. And I'd be like, man, something wrong with y'all. Some brothers say, no, I ain't no more. And I'd be like, well, why? Tell me why. Because I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'd be like, what about the Amorites, Amalekites? What about the Canaanites? What about all these other people in the biblical scripture? What makes you think that this was this? But I don't argue with no one. And then I talk about Al and Dallas. I can go deeper and deeper where forget the whole Moore thing. Well, when you look up certain things that I say, you be like, well, damn, I ain't never researched that. Who? The people in Spain. So I don't be knowing what people be talking about. I said, I ain't on nobody's side. I keep telling people this. I said, I'm not on nobody's side. Ain't no man over me. I stand alone and give my life. My brother was took out this world. My baby brother, Akil Jelani Goodman Bay, to me for nothing. Man, come on, I'm not on nobody's side that just stuck on the religious level. As soon as they open their mouth, I know where they ism is at or whatever. I know where it's at. Why? Because it's coming from a place of a tittle without no disrespect. When I talk about Al Undalis, if they be like, well, what's that? I'll be like, man, when you research it, you tell me. I can show you all the Islamic Spanish art, the Muslims in Portugal and Spain. I don't sit there argue with no one. I say, man, I know most of our brothers have no idea. I know most of our brothers have no idea, and that's what we do. I heard a brother that everybody like, oh, he's the elder. They say the Moors did rule from no Spain. Stanley Lane Poole told you that the Moors ruled Spain, but I can go, what about Al Undalis? That's all I be asking brothers. They be like, what you mean? I say, man, I'm not going to go there. So you're going to discredit J.A. Rogers, you know? I say, oh, so you're going to disrespect J.A. Rogers with the 100 and, what do you say, the 100 things, the amazing things of the Negro, when he show you the Moors in Spain, it's, you know, when how the Klan copied them, the Black Knights. Huh? I'm like, come on, man. I said, I'm going to stand right there and say, no, I'm not rocking with this man-made religion stuff. That's some messed up stuff. That's some Crips and Bloods. That's what people do. If you have a clear understanding, you're gonna be like, man, I'm tripping. You're gonna have to apologize to your own people for picking sides. Because you have to admit that, man, your wisdom is not that way yet. Even when I be talking to my Islam brothers, I said, dude, you ain't even read that. You don't even know where this come from. You don't even know where this come from. When I show you things that's older than this, they'll be like, this sound just like this, yeah. You'll be like, damn, this come from this, duh. I'll be like, man, I'm not here to do that. That's why I said we be looking a mess. And when you can get Europeans like Bertram Thomas, wrote books about the Arab, the ancient Arab, to tell you who the Arab is. And we be on here arguing. I'd be like, man, this like it'd be crazy. And that's where we at today. With all due respect, I say brothers act like it's, oh, I'm a 5%er, or I'm a Hebrew Israelite, or I'm a Moor, or I'm a Nation of Islam Muslim, or I'm a Sunni Muslim, or I'm a Prince Hall Mason, I'm a PHA Prince Hall Mason, or I'm a PHO Mason, oh, Prince Hall Mason. I'm like, oh, man. So y'all don't believe in the same tenets and ordinance? Because I know some Prince Halls, they be like, well, yeah, they understand their Moorish pedigree. And then you hear the other Prince Hall Masons, they act like they don't know what I'm talking about. And they say they is some widow son. And all my European colleagues, that Scottish Rite Masons, they'll tell you that they're a son of a Muslim. They'll tell you that black has no standing in law. So our people will become a Mason, a Prince Hall Mason, which is a mystic name, and then be under that steel stuff that keep you subjugated. So can't nobody sit up here and say I'm saying nothing wrong. I know they got us with this religious stuff. That's all I'm saying. We've been played. You know, we've been hoodwinked. The Jedi mind trick has occurred on who? The misnomer black man that's buried in a shallow grave. Still, we're not there physically, but mentally, spiritually, we still there. Why? Because here it is, your brother that you know that love you. A person that know I'm telling the truth, they still won't rock with it. Why? Because they want to rock with their perspective. And you can be sincere, but you sincerely wrong. That'd be the problem with us. I see it across the board. I be like, man, come on, man. Like, you know, like why you feel like that? Like why would somebody, well, the M-O-O-R's and the M-U-U-R's, and I already done broke down all the different spellings of more, a moron, and all these different things and what it means, and people still play semantics with you. And we'd be on social media rocking with this stuff. Gostin El Bay, she didn't argue with that. She knew her Moorish pedigree, M-O-O-R, M-U-U-R. Come on, man. The Moordines, they knew who they were. Like, come on, man. Like, are we going to really do this? Just like when people talk about Africa and when people say, no, this is the original name. Dude, I told you Africa was not named after a European. I've done this in scholarship. You can go on my page. I've done this a plethora of times. A person would be so sincere and be barking like a dog, and then I'll break it down and it'd be over. You know? You know? I'd be like, man, that's crazy. You know, and that's what I'd be telling people. I said, no, man, why do we hate Noble Drew Ali so much? I asked people, oh, he got some from Alicia. No, he didn't. Alicia Levi was none but a transcriber. See, this I'd be telling, and they'd be like, what you mean? Alicia Levi was none but a transcriber. These is facts. Just like my man Zachariah Stinson with that fake Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is the Iberian. You see it with their tarbouche on, with their tunic, cotton or silk, with their sash on. I'll be like, man, we lost our marbles. With all due respect, I asked my brother that be so caught up, and no lie, did not get that from Levi Dowling. This is how slander started. Yep. And that's how they do. And I'll prove it. I said, Aquarian Gospels, I said, man, please. These were lower level Masons. Adam Blavatsky, all of them, Pascal Beverly Randolph, Aleister Crowley, especially Pascal Beverly Randolph. In her autobiography, she'll tell you it's all more science. You know? So I know they be lying. Got that stuff about some Levi Dowling. So we just go to some European albino trailer night that didn't know nothing. And I said, no, without no disrespect to no one, because I don't want TikTok to kick me off like I'm saying something wrong. You know, I'd be like, this stuff cap. And I say there wasn't nothing but a transcriber. A transcriber. These people, oh, and at 3 in the morning, I did this. At 3 in the morning, I did this. Bull crap. Man, he said, what you say, you ask you, let me tell you how I know they know. Watch this. Watch this. And you can right now. I asked one of my Prince Hall homeboys if he knew Noble Drew Ali, but didn't say anything about him. Right now, if you go on my YouTube page, matter of fact, you ain't got to go on my YouTube page. Just go on YouTube or Google right now and Google the European Mason giving credit to, the European Mason giving homage to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. Do that right now. And what's going to pop up is the Scottish Rite Mason, boom, speaking. And you're like, how y'all don't know about Noble Drew Ali? And then I start showing you all the books and all that from Atlantis, these books that show you with all this stuff that's there. Then I start showing you other things. This is what I be telling you. It's all going to come back on us. That's why I said a person can grow and act like they don't know for so long until now when everybody say the Aquarian age and all this. But, you know, in our African science, the Voodoo, because everything got a spirit, everything is going to reveal in its right time. And so I tell people, just look this stuff up. That's all people got to do is look these things up. And then I start showing them other things like the 13 missing years, you know. Yeah. That's why I be saying, I be like, dude, I ain't here to say to do that. I'm here to bring my people together. I said, they lying. I said, how can my European Masons call themselves sons of a Muslim and a misnomer black Mason to call himself some widow son? What's a widow son? All my European Masons, that Scottish Rite Masons, that sons of Muslim, they all identify as widow sons. So I wouldn't want to be, they identify as sons of Muslims. I clearly not no widow son. They don't know even about Tubal Cain, how he's castrated, how they made a lot of misnomer blacks eunuchs. How you think they made them eunuchs? Y'all know, right? How you think they made most of those when they like, he brought here a eunuch. What you think they did to him? I wait. I already just told you back in the early times, you couldn't even eat white ice cream. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? That's why I be telling people, they come on here with them games, with that court jester stuff, man, I got your charter, and you know it. And you know you respect all Muslims. Everyone know this when you operating right. That's why I operate right. I've been operating for years. I can't be on here like I'm finna sell you something or nothing. That's why I'm who I am. Anything somebody asks, I'll be like, man, that ain't real. That's fake. And I give it to you the real way from love. It's like, now you can do anything you want, but when the trumpet being sound, you're going to be behind. And people don't even understand politics and what's going on. They're like, what you mean? I said, dude, look what's going on. Most of these misnomer black people, they talk that 14th Amendment stuff. It's a wrap. Why? Because you done set it on paper. Man, listen. Steve Coakley told you years ago that the Greek was a fraud. I'm sorry. Can't be mad at your brother. I tell people I don't have no problems dealing and speaking in other houses. I only have a problem with our own people that done took an oath, or certain religious people that don't know what they're talking about. Real talk. Now, yeah, real talk. Dude, people don't understand. Okay, one of my books, I quote Peter Lambert Wilson from The Sacred Drift of Islam. That's why I be laughing with people when they become from a perspective. I be like, man, you have no idea. People have no idea what Prophet did, you know, bro. And just like there's another European, his name was Peter Moon. He used to lecture at Grand Canyon University. Now, Peter Moon, that's his pen name. What you mean, his pseudonym, because they always had to write in a pen name. But anyway, he got a book called Spandu Mysteries with the Prophet on there with all the U.S. generals. Now, why would you think the Prophet on the cover with all those U.S. generals? It should make you think. It should make you think. That's why I be laughing at our people. I be like, man, you need to go and sit on your hands somewhere. Why? Because I said you one of them ones. I tell everyone. Let me tell you how I done told people bruh. I got people that know me. They be seeing me I almost own a whole block right now. That's why I be laughing at my people. I'm from West Pad. You go right up Patterson. As soon as you get before Mount Elliott, you turn right on Mount Elliott. It ain't hardly no houses on the block. My homeboy Mickey used to own a house before he moved to Atlanta. When they tear the houses down, I buy all the lots. Then you go up a little bit, it's a street called Proctor. You turn left, it's a couple houses. You turn right, it ain't no houses on the whole block when you turn right. It's a house on the corner. I just put the petition in for Land Bank to tear it down. And then it's another yellow house on the corner. I think that's Dayton or Iroquois. And I think somebody fixing it up. But I'm trying to buy the whole block. And I'm doing it with my pennies. And I got a lot of my alumni that's investing. I've been showing people the blueprints. I got these meta glasses. So I'll be having my whole different platform, professors and stuff, and investors. Just like a lot of colleges, they be for profit, for non-for-profit, because they have investors. But to make a long story short, I showed them this. And I've been trying to show my people the same way that the Jewish community, that they operate under their religious organization, and everybody get a tax-exempt receipt. And the whole thing is to give Uncle Sam less money and support your religious and charitable contribution of their choice. But everybody in City of Flint want to be the only one. They don't understand there's no unity in the community. And I say, I'm part of, listen, man, I know my Jewish culture. I know my heritage. I went to school, didn't have to pay. It was contingent on me teaching certain people. It was contingent on me teaching certain people. I got my dual master's degree for free. Point blank. And so when people be saying this, me and my homie live in Vegas, his name Dale Vez, my older brother. We be putting our pennies together and buying these houses. The thing I don't like about the city of Flint is Land Bank is, to me, with all due respect, is whack. Because how can Land Bank get all these houses? All these houses was paid for 3 and 4 times over. Some of the kids left or whatever, so the people didn't pay their property tax, so they lost them. But a lot of these houses been sitting forever. They really ain't worth nothing. If I lived in the neighborhood, man, y'all got to give me these houses. And people have to complain. That's why I said it ain't nothing going to happen. And that's why I said the people of Flint, show me, ain't nobody going to do nothing. And you're right, because they don't understand the religious laws. It's a whole different tax status that you under. How? I just told you. We tax exempt from the federal government. Religious, charitable, scientific, educational-wise. You have your religious community. And it's private. And that's why I tell people, when churches be under the FBI, which is the faith-based initiative, then you have to teach government-mandated programs. Can't be mad at me. How you think Nation of Islam is big in the prisons? That's the federal mandated religion in the prisons. Can't be mad at me for knowing that. You can't be mad at me. Like go on, man. That's what I be telling people. Leave me alone. Because it's going to come out. It's going to come out when people say they Hebrew Israelites with all due respect and they be wearing the purple and be arguing with everybody. And then you be like, well, this person was in the police. He was the cop. He was this, and this. All these things. I be saying, how can you be a lodge member and then this religion? So what you saying in your lodge that you ain't saying with these people? Like to me, it's a conflict of interest. And that's why I say it's never going to work. With all due respect. Because we got a lot of people that may have went to prison or may have did this or may can rap or may can sing or throw a football. We think just because they can do that, that means they need to be the spokesman for us. And that's how they get us. They say, yeah, they gonna roll with this dude that probably played basketball and this and that and the other, instead of the brother that got the experience, the education, and knowing that all this, the background, to know how to do all this, know how to bring people together, and y'all vote for the person that y'all like because you base it on some basketball. And you base it on how you feel about that, not the background, not the experience. That's what we do. With all due respect. When people be saying things, they don't understand about a religious community. Everybody working, everybody say they don't have no money. Yes, they do. Everybody act like they winning. They don't know about tax status and tax exempt status because we let people tell us stuff without understanding what's going on and how we can have a religious community. We don't understand. So these developers come to our community and buy all this stuff up and push us out. And they're going to push everybody to projects like they did before. And the neighborhood going to be patrolled by the state police. I'm telling you, I'll show y'all the blueprints. That's why I be laughing at everybody when they come home, act like they from the city and be taking pictures in the front of abandoned houses. All the basketball players that went to school with us and went pro, they be taking pictures in front of old raggedy houses. Even people in my family that my mother and them gave them houses, they done lost them for what? Back taxes, and they be embarrassed. So ain't nobody lost no house in the city of Flint unless you ain't pay your property taxes. And the property taxes in the neighborhood in the city of Flint, if you live in the hood, is nothing. So can't nobody tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. In my family, we have family that let houses go to waste. We talk about houses. So when we talk about a group of Moors, when I say a community, and it be so many Moors be on my page, been following me for years and live in different states, I said that's why it's no community, because I'm supposed to be going to all these people areas. Everybody's supposed to be standing on their square. You know what standing on your square is? Putting some money behind something and see a real movement. That's what that is. All my muftis are from different states. That's why I say it's not going to happen, because it's no real movement. You know, I give respect to respect due when people call me Grand Sheik. That's fine. But just like somebody say, this my mama. That's personally. You know, I respect that title. But, you know, when a person say, you know, when they give that credit and they say, peace, Grand Sheik, I get that. But I want to be your Grand Sheik. I want to be your personal Grand Sheik if you into this. Because they're saying that to me, and a person be like, well, that's Grand Sheik. And they be like, is that your Grand Sheik? No, I follow him on social media. Well, why you don't deal with the brother? Social media is just a part of him. He just courting you. That man got a real life. How you know, man, I've been following that man and been in Arizona, came to that man meetings, seen them brothers buy 10 acres, seen that brother go to the prisons. That's why I be laughing. That brother from the city of Flint, they own land. I give away stuff. What? I give away backpacks and stuff. And don't nobody even know about it. Why? Because I don't call the news or M Live and say, hey, I'm going to give away these backpacks. I just do it. And so that's what I'll be saying, man. The movement is contingent on us. And so when you say you got the science, when you say it like this, no, with all due respect, and I respect you so much, brother Shuar 16, it says you got the science. The city of Flint is for sale, bro. If you got 200 people, to really be committed, you could buy the whole Flint, Michigan. They don't understand it. That's why I'm dealing with my brother. I got a mufti named Datez L. Smith in St. Louis. St. Louis is just like Flint. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I be telling people. St. Louis is just like Flint. So when I go to St. Louis, y'all gonna be like, God dang, Sheik, how? And a lot of these people, they just like what I'm doing. Cause I've been showing them that they neighborhoods and stuff was Moorish communities. All those buildings was Moorish. I've been showing them. I got people that I'm teaching their kids right now. They were like, my kid was failing. They were like, man, we help you. I got a person right now that's making good money. And he was like, man, I didn't know I was just giving my money away sitting in the private banking system. That's why I tell people, I said, that's fine. And so sometimes you have to leave your country and show people, you know? And people should have been already seeing it, brother, because I've been in Arizona for 15 years. I reside in Arizona. All my muftis that's part of the Brotherhood, that's nobles, are from a different area. And I got one of my homeboys from DC, my other homie from Baltimore, my other homie from Sacramento. I got some brothers in Vegas. I got brothers in Texas. You know, I got some brothers in Texas. And that's what I tell people. I said, dude, I'm like, all this stuff it's so simple. A lot of stuff I'm not going to give away because I done gave away stuff so much to where I get love tokens for what I do. I get to go on universities and talk about what I'm talking about. That's why I say, man, it don't matter. And I don't have to give you all the information because I don't. You know, yep, I got he's in, what do you say, College Station. Wherever College Station is, that's where my homie sister and my homeboy Drayshawn L stay. Where College Station area is, stay in that area. I don't know if that's Houston or not, but wherever College Station area is, that's where one of my nobles and his wife, and then one of my noble sisters live. And so, let me tell y'all, that's like right now. You can look us up right in Kingsman, Arizona. We own 10 acres right now. The Burning Bush Tabernacle, myself, Sheik Goodman Bey, Kari Goodman Bey, Lamarck Barclay Bey, Malik Reed L. You can look us up in the records and see in Kingsman, Arizona, and see we own 10 acres of prime real estate. Each couple months, we be having these developers trying to buy our land. You know? And so I've been trying to I'll be having people follow me, talk about they got their farms and this. And I'll be like, well, where your farm at? They'd be like, well, it's at my house. I said, dude, that's fine. But I said, the mandate come out where they say it'd be illegal to have a farm or a garden in your yard. What would you do? I don't know. I'll be hit. Exactly. We have the opportunity to have a co-op farmland to build something nice. Everybody can have their little percentage, their little piece of acre and growing different things and we barter. And it's over people's heads. And now I'm dealing with certain people like this. And they're like, well, you don't got to deal with nobody. Well, why don't we just spearhead you and you bring people in that know how to do this? I'm like, well, okay. Somebody before they be like, man, you've been telling these people this for years. Like literally years. And they was like, you do got 10 acres. I know people that call themselves religious this, they done got on the internet talk about some never farms. And they got these and we got this and bought some fake and bought some fake ass what I call it tool shed with a hard hat talking about this is the McDonald land farms. I'm changing the name because but y'all know and food all the people. And I'm like, where the land at? And now ain't nobody talking about the land. Okay, so you collected all the money from a group of people. Where's the land? So if it ain't no land, you need to give the people the money back. And my homeboys and somebody when I was live the other day, they said the reason why, bro, you ain't all the way this, that, and the other because you ain't scamming people and you ain't stealing from the people. I know all these old Jedi mind tricks when they talk about real estate and all this. I said, dude, it ain't like that. Tell them to open up their portfolio. It's nothing. I know the play. That's why nobody can get on my page and be like, oh no. I'm like, dude, they doing this to you. And so I've been telling people this. I said, our communities are for sale. And when you pick the hardest hit fund, like the city of Flint, like certain areas in Detroit, like certain areas in St. Louis, or any community that the majority of the people are left out, because a lot of the water in a lot of communities is messed up. A lot of the majority in a certain urban community, you know, when brothers get a little money, they gone. They send their kids to private schools. So the community is for sale. And you telling me, like, I'll give you an analogy, brother. Right now, I'll pull up the land bank, or you can pull it up. You can pull up Flint, Michigan Land Bank right now and pull up the houses for sale. And you will be like, man, wait a minute. You be like 4,000. And then in the city of Flint, you know so many people that know how to fix houses, but everybody want to make money off each other instead of creating a conglomerate. Instead of creating a business. Now when you create a business, it's not just a single person getting a house. Our people don't understand about entities. Our people don't understand about that. So when you go into something, you can control everything and own nothing. But people don't know it. People don't know it because they be like, well, person, me, we part of this community. You got to understand it. We want to be under the whole tax bracket. This is a community thing. And we be lost. And so with me and my people, we do a lot of things under the burning bush. Well, my people give donations. We use a part of that to purchase things. You know, everybody say, no, Sheikh, you're supposed to do this for yourself. And I say, okay, well, if we put some money together for something, this is what it's going to be for. If not, it's still going to be there. So I'm going to show y'all something. So on here, you have feature homes, like on land, like this is the city of Flint, this is land bank. A lot of these houses be 5,000. Some of these houses be 4,000. Some of them be 10,000, but that's just the bid. They ain't gonna go for no 10,000 because it don't be worth it. You know, you can put the bid on it. And so when you an organization, when you operate under different tax laws, you don't. It's certain things that you foresee, just like certain churches, because if a certain money coming in, I'll give an analogy like this. Let me finish these houses, and I'm gonna show you the analogy. These little houses be like 4,000. Cause we got 3 of them for like 4,000 a piece, and then we put a bid in for another one, 3 houses on Roseline that's right by each other. Like this house right here on Moore Street, this 5 bands. A lot of them be all messed up inside, but if you got the right people to get things done and you know how to get the labor and fix everything the same, it's not a hard job. I'm telling you, because we already did it like 4 times. That's why. That's how I know. And so now I'm bringing a lot of people that I showed this. They're like, man, you can put us in a house? I'm like, yeah, if I can get y'all labor. They're like, man, we can build everything, blah, blah, blah. You'll give us a house? I said, yeah. So me and my brothers, we misnomer Mexican partners in the city of Flint. They indigenous, they Moors. They willing to come to the city and stay in these houses. You know, I get the power on. One of my homeboys, he's a contractor, so he can pull all the permits and all that. I said, it's over. And people was trying to charge me a grip. And now I'm showing people. And they don't understand that you taxes in for the federal government. This is just a donation to your organization. the churches don't be doing this. I said, no, because the pastor be buying Bentleys and stuff and big old houses and then be on the internet acting like they don't be using the church money. And I said, if your house is in a church name, that means you using different tax brackets. Stop lying to me. What do you own for the people? Okay, your church don't own no homes. I'm telling you, the BBT, we're going to have a religious community. And on the blocks that is no houses, we putting our double wides on them. I'm telling you, not no little shabby stuff, beautiful double wides. Beautiful double wides. This is what I be telling people. A lot of times I'll be like, man, we lost. Because people, it don't be people ideas. And so when you were saying 200 people in the city of Flint, watch this. Watch this, Noble. Hell, 300 people giving $100 a month, that's $360,000 in one calendar year. Don't you know, in the city of Flint, that's hella movement. Now, and that ain't 10% of nobody money, because I know people spend $1,200 in a weekend, $1,200 in a month on what? They don't know. They don't know. On some clothes, on some shoes, on this, they'll spend it, you know? And now watch this, deck man. And when you do it for your own people, it's certain things that you don't have to get. That's why I be telling people, hit me up. I be telling people, hit me up, because when you're doing it for yourself, it's certain permits and things you don't have to do. And if you know how to do it, you fall other things. Like say, if I got this skill, or say, if I'm a contractor, I can hire all skilled laborers. And they be like, for real? Yeah. And so here it is, you got 300 people giving $100 a month with total $1,200 in one calendar year. That's $360,000 a year. I can show y'all all these. It's so many churches in the city of Flint that's just sitting because the city has, most of the people left the city. And a lot of the churches just sitting. On DuPont, it's a church and a parsonage right next to it for, I think it was like $250,000. But see, once you do a crowdfunding and you get the money, you go offer them cash for half. You'll be like, well, we don't care if we don't get it. Why? Because it's going to sit. You think they're going to turn down that bag? No, because that's a specialty building. And the people don't understand. And that's how you take over the community. When you can bring people to a mean place where y'all can sit down and y'all can close the doors and people can come in the community and have a place to go. You know, and the children can have something, and we can have our skill center and our after school programs, and we can start showing people how to be independent in the community and industrious in the community. This what I be telling people, and people have been following me for years. I said, dude, it's the blueprint. So when a person be saying by the community, I said, man, it's just like when you have a college and people be donors and they be tax exempt, and certain people be like, well, okay, well, can I get a residual of this and that and the other? Or they just be wanting in on the idea. They be like, because either they're going to support this or they're going to give it to Uncle Sam. If you in a certain tax bracket and you have no deductions, you owe Uncle Sam. If you making 100 bands and you have no deductions, you giving your money to Uncle Sam willingly and be on my page talking about you with a movement. You can't be. Why? Because you willingly giving it to Uncle Sam. And the law say you're either going to give it to Uncle Sam or you're going to support your religious and charitable contribution willingly. You're not avoiding that. It's saying, why would you want to support your organization and then hold that organization accountable? Like me, if let's say we raise $7 million like certain people, and we say we're going to open our temple and our after school activities and our summer schools, you know? And everybody be like, yeah, this man transparent. He been doing this all that. Why we don't want our community centers? Why we don't want our spiritual houses? Why we don't want to have people come to the Great Migration and certain brothers that's ready to work with their families move to the city of Flint, put them in houses, and now we got our own team where we buying houses. We got brothers building, and we building up a certain community like it's nothing. I can take people downtown before you get to this other taco house on the other across the street. When you're going across the street from the new Powers, is that Powers? Or the School of the Deaf, it's a whole neighborhood for sale. It might be a couple $1 million, but it's a whole neighborhood with a big building in the corner, a whole neighborhood. It's a block for sale. And so when I show people these investors, because I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society, I'm always be transparent, you know? And I show people this, they're like, so these mega churches making all these $1 million, and the people have been following you because they've been following me. They be like, these people have been following you for years. You know, they were like, people have been following you for years. They're like, they don't know they tax exempt. They were like, they be watching The Sopranos and don't know. And they were like, well, what are you trying to do, sir? And I was like, boom, boom, boom. And I showed them. And I showed them everything. And they was like, wow. That's the way I show people. And everybody can get a tax exempt receipt. How? Because you got to give it to Uncle Sam. Or you tax evading. That's how these people built their religious community. Why you think rich people give to their nonprofit organizations or to their churches? Why? And build them up. Why you think all their family got themselves set up a certain way? Because you're either going to give it to Uncle Sam or you're going to support this and build up your community. That's the only way. So when people be saying they Moors and this, not, and the other, I'll be like, dude, we'll wait so long until it be a person don't have the patience no more. A person don't have the energy to be trying to convince no one. Because if I said I was on here, I could watch this, because there's a lot of people on the internet doing it. Oh, I can get you in this, fix your credit and give you credit. Oh, I can say you an Amish and this and take my course and you can get this money. People to pay. You know? Cause they think they're gonna get something out of it. And I'm like, what you gonna get out of it is jail. You said, or a lot of direct link buildings, the city will donate simply because the cost of them to keep it up, and you prove that you are keeping it the same thing when they're allowing the land. Just like with the land. So when they tear houses down, I own lots in my neighborhood, and everybody know. I grew up on the corner of Patterson. The house next to it, they tore it down, I own that. Tennis shoe money. I've been telling people this for years and years, and they be looking at me stupid. See me out, oh man, let's do this. And they'll spend $500. And I said, that $500 you just spent, smart guy, we could have bought that land. See, I don't be out just partying and BS. I be out talking to different people. People be like, man, you Sheik Goodman Band. And I be like, yeah. They be like, man, give me a call. That's how I meet people. I met a dude that fly airplanes in Arizona, not for no company, his own airplane. And this is the other man. I met him out at Blue Martini. He was like, you Sheik Goodman Band. I was like, how you know? Like, man, you a good dude. You graduated from GCU. I was like, how you know? He was like, my daughter spoke of you. Showed me the picture. I said, he was like, yeah, his daughter was my counselor at GCU. Blew my mind. We talking, boom, 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 boom. I got a whole library. I need some of my books. He was like, email me that, because a lot of my books are ebooks, and sent me some money. He was like, you ain't used to this? I'm like, no. He like, well, we into this. He like, why don't you come out here and pitch what you're talking about to us and see what type of response you get? And I did. Then I came back to my city of Flint, which I'm here now. Of course, I'm here to help my mom going through, handling her business. But also, I came back to see some things and talk to my people. And I saw what it's about. I'll be like, man, I don't have the energy anymore. I saw how people in the politics, they are Democrat and arguing. I saw how someone can come from our city and put a dang old casket in front of the mayor house. And I'm like, y'all that mad? Because if you feel that way, you just vote. So it's a lot of things that was tasteless to me, And so and then when it comes to this Moorish community, it's the Moorish Science Temple of America on Martin Luther King. The mug don't even be open. You can call the phone number right now, the number disconnected. And then I met a Moor, he was like, Sheik, why don't they just turn the building over to you? I said, why you think they ain't gonna turn the building over to me, sir? Why? Ego. That's what men do. It ain't even operating right. My man behind it be cutting the grass. He's like, man, where I grew up, the Moorish Science Temple, and my mom them, because I pull up there one day. I said, man, when do they have classes in Sunday school? He was like, will they be up here about this time? I said, so somebody got to come up here and meet them? Or catch them? He was like, I don't know what they be doing, brother. They be acting like they some Ninja Turtles, whatever. And he was like, because I was up there in my regalia. I'm talking to the brother. He like, you from Flint? I said, yeah. He like, wait a damn minute. He said, they be coming from Saginaw. He like, bro, you ain't from Flint. We talking. I said, yeah, man, I grew up on Patterson Street. He like, what's Pat? Yeah, he was like, you look familiar. He was like, man, you K good, ain't you? I was like, yeah, man, he done went back, took his stuff off, wiped the face. He was like, bro, and I forget the dude name. He went to school with my brother and them. But he like, bro, he was like, I knew you looked familiar. He was like, then got the spilling the beans. He was like, bro, they need to turn this building over to you, Sheik. He was like, I cut the grass, boom, just not in the other. He telling me everything. He was like, these people ain't turning the building over to you? He said, the number disconnected. I was like, yep. So a lot of stuff I be talking about, I'm not on nobody's side. A lot of stuff has to be cleared up for me to be dealing with people. Right now, my homeboy Julius in the hood, he stay on the corner of Odette and Iroquois. He do lawns and stuff. He be working with me doing a lot of our property lawns and a lot of the senior lawns. He said, I forget, I'm not going to say the Moor dude, the Moorish brother he know. I said the Moor dude. But the Moorish brother he know, he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, he be saying that it's some special law and he don't got to have this. And I said, that's sovereign citizen stuff. He looking it up. I said, that's some Roger Elvig stuff. He was like, dang, yeah. And I said, that expatriating from the de facto government. I said, then what? Then you stateless. He was like, yeah, he be talking. I said, see, he was like, bro, he need to talk to you. I said, don't nobody need to talk to me. Everybody know my plight. And that's what I be saying. People be acting like they don't know how I stand. That's why I say, even my parents, if I was doing something right, my parents wouldn't be rocking with me. The people that rock with me, that's not Moors and the universities, they wouldn't be rocking with me if I was saying some hatred stuff. Our prophet didn't say no hateful stuff. This what I be telling people. And so I know what can happen. Why? Because a lot of people just be talking. And so we put our money behind real movements. And that's all I've seen. What? People put money behind real movements when they understand. When they understand they taxes them from the federal government. Like I told people, I have a full library with over 1 million books and documents. I have book sales, and college students get ebooks from me. You know? So that's why I said, no, with all due respect, I love everyone. And I give people my email, Goodman, KHARY, @gmail.com. Only people been hitting me up, a couple people from Clear University, just one misnomer Chinese girl from the University of Michigan Flint, a couple students from Mott that be on this platform, you know, my other platform. And that's how I'm able to go to the colleges and speak. You know, I grew up with people. They argue all day because they religious perspective. That's why nothing will happen. And that's why I don't have the energy. I respect people, their situations or everything. But after all that, after your personal agenda, now what? You got to get off that religious boat. People be on this religious boat so hard to where nothing happened. And people be on this black stuff for so hard. I be like, dude, you missing the point. You know you getting laughed at when you coming with that black stuff. That's why I'll be like, dude, like, I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm just not standing next to nobody that's coming with that perspective, y'all. And I done wasted a lot of my energy dealing with wars. Not no one that's talked, but I done waste my energy dealing with a lot of brothers. It's people on my platform right now, on my Facebook and on my other platforms that grew up in the city with me, and the houses that they lived in, they know it, and they know the house in the community is shambles. And no one come back to the community because everybody want to be the only one. Everybody want to be talking. That's why I be saying, I be like, dude, I see what's happening. Brothers won't even come together and put their pennies together and say, okay, we're going to buy this piece of property and fix it up, then boom, buy this next one, rent it out to this chick, she ain't got to deal with this slumlord, then we're going to do the next one. Everybody be acting like they got money. It'd be fun. I said, what you going to do with your money? And this is what I'll be saying. I'll be laughing. I said, you taxes them for the federal government? Nope. Everything is wasted. And that's big facts. And that's what I saw, brother, when I came back, when I'm here in my city. You know, and also when I see with this Moorish movement, I see stagnation. I see no new ideas. I see everybody talking about the Supreme Grand Sheik. I see everybody talking about a whole bunch of old stuff. I see a whole bunch of paper terrorists. I see a whole bunch of people. You can file this. I see a whole bunch of people begging instead of pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. That's what I see. What? People begging. That's exactly, especially with this Moorish movement, I call it poorest science. All religious movement with brothers, I call it poorest movements. Even with the Hebrew Israelites, I say that's to me that's poor movement. No disrespect. Why? Because most of them brothers dealing with a chick on Section 8. The woman got to be on Section 8 to be dealing with someone all day that mind is tripping like that. All of them be on Section 8 and welfare. These is fact. They can't be mad at me. All of them be on Section 8 and welfare. I guarantee you. Because these ain't nobody in real life doing nothing or helping nobody. These Section 8 and welfare. And that's a personal agenda. And I don't operate personal. I operate on universal, which means I have the right to be universal. And I don't supposed to disrespect no one else from their belief system. I don't supposed to disrespect no one else. That shouldn't even be in my vocabulary. Why? Because I got so much work to do for us that I can't be focused on who they think they are. Because just like you got some fake Jordans, you got yours from the hood store, you got yours from the gas station, but the misnomer Arab sold you all of it. Oh man, this chicken ain't good. This chicken's so good. You got your chicken and your fish from the misnomer Chaldeans. Same way you in Detroit, you go to eat all them coney dogs from the misnomer Chaldeans. That's why I be telling people, I be like, man, leave me alone. And then as soon as some brother Moors or some open up something in the city, they don't even go. Like right now, it's a Moors shop in Detroit. I'll be seeing brothers going to all these other people's shops, and they be saying they Moors. Just like my brother on here was like, Sheik, you sell fezzes, you sell turbans, everything you got on, you sell. He was like, how many more buy products from you, and how many your Jewish colleagues and your European brothers get their fez and turban from you? A whole bunch. This year, I put 200 some fezzes on people's head. And then my brothers that's Masons, that I don't argue because I'm a businessman. Just like if I did taxes or anything, I know other Masonic groups, they get their fezzes from me. You know what he said? The potentate of this lodge in Arizona, my European colleague, he said, I'd rather us get our fezzes from you, brother. He was like, we don't have to get them from there. He was like, if you can provide the fez with the same, he called it day defilement because he know. He was like, we'll get them from you. I had no problem. I got brothers that buy two and three fez from me a year, and don't have no problem buying no fez from me for 200 because they get a tax exempt receipt. Why? Because they part of my organization. They don't mind. It's part of their regalia. I give them a tax exempt receipt. The books, all that, the regalia is part of our religious regalia. They get tax exempt receipts. That's why I say people don't understand, and they don't want to be educating in this, you know. And that's what I tell us. What y'all doing in y'all temples? Talk about civics. What are y'all doing? What economics? People don't even understand group economics. And people going to work every day. I said, so what you doing with your tax money? You giving it to Uncle Sam and you think you getting a tax return. Just tell the truth. And that's what I'll be telling people, like, dude, man, tell the truth. And stop playing with me. You know you think you're getting a tax return. Your wife thinks you get, or your girlfriend, because they're going to let Uncle Sam take the largest part out of their check, and then you think you're getting a tax return. And you ain't getting, you getting a small tittle of what's been taken from you the whole year. I bet you can't tell me how much Uncle Sam took out your check for the whole year. I guarantee you. So you happy about getting a small tittle of the money Uncle Sam took from you from the whole year. And you're supposed to donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, get a tax receipt, and build infrastructure in your religious community. But, you know, even more, the more they be lying. I be like, dude, you think you getting a tax return. Go on. Let's go. Then you watch Sopranos and be wondering how all the mobsters and all that, how they built in all their religious community and how they got their construction company. Y'all don't be seeing the gangsters putting the money and they're dropping it in there because what's dirty is good in the church and y'all don't even know it. Brothers don't even know about in-kind service. I'll be like, man, we wasteful because we don't want to be educated. And now I'm able to teach this to a group of people and they understand why should I still want to talk to my people about this? With all due respect, I've been doing it for years. I even met people. And one of the dudes at the church, the deacon was at the church, he said, if you would have been came in here like a snake oil salesman, you would have had everybody. But you came here honest and real. Hugged me. He was like, man, you're going to be amazing. But he was like, your people in the community ain't ready. Because I used to be assistant minister at Mount Olive and St. Paul in the city of Flint. And I spoke just like this. And y'all can look me up, Pastor Goodman, or Reverend Goodman. I spoke just like this. And the only reason why I left, because I had to get my own. All the old people in the church is like, nah, brother, you got to get your own. My dad was the executive director for Genesee County. So anything low income housing, Meals on Wheels, anything that would deal with the seniors from getting a hot and a cold meal, weatherization, my dad, and everybody know it. So I was bringing all these programs to the churches saying, hey man, we can feed these seniors. And in the summertime, we can have summer feeding programs where we can feed these kids. And the G-Car to come bring them a hot and a cold meal. And I can do camps with these kids. Boom, it didn't work. I took the same thing in Arizona because they got Meals on Wheels in Arizona. Told them I was Larry Goodman's son. Boom, boom, boom. Created my own big movement. Now I just get my little residual income and I let somebody else run it. Because I said I got into my Moorish community and I just didn't want to leave my people. I didn't want to leave my people. I'm just being honest. And so now I'm showing people this. I said, dude, it's a waste of time. With all due respect, it's a waste of time, y'all. How they think the Moorish Zion Temple America was going to be something? Noble Drew Ali ain't have all the money. This is what I be telling people. It's certain things set up a certain way. You giving it to Uncle Sam. So that's just where I'm at with all this, man. And it's sad. You know, it's very sad. But our brothers be on the wrong thing. If you so religious, why we don't have nothing? If we so smart and you basing everything contingent on your color, well, why you don't have nothing? Tell me after you do all that, you're going back to your projects or your house you written or the house that you think you own with a mortgage and you don't own nothing outright and it ain't no community. Tell me, you can't. all that barking on the corner, where all the money going? Just like no disrespect, just like with the Nation of Islam. Where all the money go to for selling all them bean pies and those final calls? Where the money go? Do you get the check? It's just like the Girl Scouts when it was certain things being sold. They ain't getting the money. This stuff is multi-million-dollar organizations. Come on, man. It don't trickle down. They don't have no community. These people live on Section 8 and welfare. And can't nobody tell me no different. They were in our neighborhood on the corner of Welch, what was that? Welch and Flushing, a whole bunch of people on Section 8. And you talking to a whole bunch of people on welfare. This what we love. This what brothers love. They remind me of some Sonetta TV, some old stuff. People still on the same stuff. I be like, man, that's old. We supposed to be on what? Growth and development. One nationality, many cultures. Nobody stripping no one from their culture. Brothers just don't have no true understanding of what they representing. I'm telling you, and that's what happened in this little bitty old small city of Flint. Because people they want to always say something, and I respect everybody. Okay, you might have did this, you might have did this, you might have been in prison, all that. But just because this person might have did this and this person might have been in prison, that don't mean that they are wise because they've been in prison. You've been in prison for whatever you done, or you this, that, and the other, or this. But everybody to stay in their lane. Just like I'll be talking about a complete body. The head don't say to the foot it want to be a foot. The ear don't say to the eye it want to be an eye. And that's what I'll be telling people. It's like, dude, why you want to be something else? Because your personal situation. You should be smart enough because of your personal situation. But like, this is a person that need to be speaking for this. I speak on my personal experience and why you shouldn't do this and do this based on this. But teaching anything else, man, we need to get my boy. We need to get my boy. But to talk about my personal experience to a group of people that have been through something, yes. But now I need to have somebody else come in that's greater than I. That's a team. But brothers don't want it. That's why moving don't go nowhere. Because a lot of these brothers, they feel just because they personal situation, that means it's all across the board. And it's not. I told the dude, just because you play basketball don't mean people want to hear you and speak a science. You play basketball. A lot of these kids don't care about that. Show me something. Show me something that's real. Every kid ain't went to prison. That's what I be telling people. It's like, dude, we be missing it because we don't know how to get out our personal agenda. And that's why I tell people, community. A community, that means it's a group of people that agree to certain tenets and ordinance. And we don't have that yet. That's all I'm saying. We don't have it. Especially in our city of Flint, I just broke down politics. You don't even have to be a part of that. We're supposed to be a part of our, especially Moors. All of us, that people that know me, it don't have to be in our city. Blueprint. And then I can show you how to buy land in different areas. And be like, dang, all this land available? Yep, for tennis shoe money? Yes. If people been following me for years, which they have, when I first got into getting land, I was taking some of my classes on campus, and I met one of my homeboys, one of my Amish homeboys, Khalid. And he was like, yeah, we got 400 acres. I like 400 acres. I mean, not 400, I'm tripping, 40 acres. I said, 40 acres, where? I said, where, in Arizona? And he wasn't even a European. He was a melanated brother. He used to stare at me all the time because I had my fez on. I used to stare at him all the time like, okay, he dressed Amish. And then we just started talking about each other. He was like, man, that's Stuff TV. He was like, man, my Amish community, blah, 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 in St. John's, Arizona. I'm putting up St. John's, Arizona. I said, oh, that's like border close. He was like, yeah. He was like, man, we got 40 acres up there. You and your wife should come check us out. I said, okay. We drove up there, man, blew my god dang mind. I said, holy sniggity snap, 40 acres, horses, all type of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. Took us, I think, 2 hours to get there, if I'm not mistaken, from where we was staying at. And he was like, I'll show you how to get it. I was like, show me how to do what? He was like, how to get land, and then your organization land, and this, that, and the other. He was like, are you ready for it? I said, I wasn't ready for it because I ain't had the people or do all this. I said, yeah, I'm ready for it. I don't care. He was like, I can show you how to get this just like a car. And no interest or nothing. Once you pay your, $20,000, it's yours. I said, man, stop playing with me. So we went there. They were showing me, the person that showed the land, showed me what we can build on it. You can go on YouTube and hear my Empress talking. And my wife was like, can we shoot out here? And they was like, no, you can't shoot out here because when you shooting, it might go, you don't want to do that. Arizona, it's a law. And so he was like, you can go to the range and blah, blah, blah. So we ended up doing the deal. I had a small fee I had to pay each month for the land. But as I began to do things in my community and build other organizations and work with other places, I was moving my funds. You know, I was like, man, I don't have it to keep paying for this. I want to. And so I started crowdfunding with people with my family. They didn't see the vision, which was okay. I didn't get mad with nobody because everybody didn't have to see your vision. I just knew, it was going to happen in the right way. And I'm like, dang. And so I was talking to somebody. They was ear hustling. I was at the cigar bar in Arizona talking to my ex-professor, and I was just telling him about the difficulty and this, and that, and the other. And somebody heard me, and he was like, "You got land in St. John's?" He was like, "Man, it's camping land up there." He was telling me when he was young and his dad them used to go in there, and I was like, "Yeah, we got 20. We have 20 acres." He was like, "20 acres for how much?" And I said, and I was transparent. I said, "Well, I don't own it all the way out yet, but I said I put this down and blah they splee, blah blah blah." And I'm trying to get from under it because I'm trying to do something else. Man, he offered me like triple for what I, first had to put down. I didn't have to. I did that because I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this and then, pay it off real fast. All my money back plus some, and bought, like I'm gonna give you this because I like what you're doing. I'm just being honest. And so make a short story or make a long story short. Now here a couple of years later, all my muftis that's part of my brotherhood, I got like 20 close, like brothers that close to me that know that I go to their states every year that we like this. I got like 20 of my brothers, and we got together and they was like, Sheik, you can do this with us. And we are. And I wish, not wish, I'm just glad I know them because I'm not going to deal with time and say I wish. But, from hindsight, I really wish that those brothers, I had something like that to do with. And these brothers trust me. They trust my judgment. They trust what I do with the funds. And they like, Sheik, you've been honest from day one. That's why we rock with you. And a lot of my brothers, they all work. They all in different tax bracket. And so each year, when they donate, I give them a tax exempt receipt. One of my homies got a tax return this year. He was like, Sheik, I don't need this. He was like, take this. And when we buy some more houses, and when you go to the houses and you do the little walkthrough, and when you do the bids on it, just let us know. So that's what I do with my brothers. And none of them stay in Flint. And so we're going to do the same thing in St. Louis. And now we doing this funding with people that rocking with us, and they don't have to be Moors. One lady and her son was like, "Do we have to be Moors?" No. But now they intrigued about the science because they see me and they see my pureness. And they like, "Well, you don't talk like the rest of them." I said, "Because I'm not the rest of them." I ain't talking no sovereign citizen and this paper. No, you can find. Man, please. I don't rock like that. Bobby Hemmett told everybody what's gonna happen to them people a long time ago. And so now, y'all, myself, as I'm able to travel and be alumni and speak, because I'm alumni from Clear University and I'm alumni for Grand Canyon University. I have a dual master's degree, in my field. And I have a bachelor's degree, an undergrad in business. And so it's a certain way that I'm going to do business. It's a certain language that I know. And if anything, I'm going to educate you on things. It's no guaranteeing nothing. It's no guaranteeing you nothing. I don't care if you're on the block hustling. It's no guarantee. That's why I'm always honest with things. And I say, it's an assumption of risk of everything you do. If it's not from the heart. If it's from the heart, you know the ins and out of everything that's going on. Why? Because that entity is transparent. That's why you're rocking with it. And that's why a lot of people have got played because they don't like righteous things. So I've been on here for 2 hours, man. Like I said, I hope people subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel because that's where we're going to be teaching everything at from going forward. Sunday school and adapt class and Friday book club. I'm not going to be sharing anything on my platform anymore or on TikTok or my personal YouTube or Facebook. I hope everybody subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And that's where you will get Friday book club, Saturday adapt class, and Sunday school. And all those are systematically at a certain time. And you can check out our website at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I also have a company called MoorishHaberdasher.com, www.MoorishHaberdasher.com, where you can get all your Moorish American regalia and much, much more. I have a book company called MyPDFBooks.com. That's books with a Z, where you can download a plethora of books to your tablet, for a small fraction of a price. But if you know me like you know me now, all you have to do is be like, Sheik, I'm into the science, and I'll make you a specific menu, and I'll be your personal person that pick these books for small donations each month, like I do for real college students. Like I do for real college students. And I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that people think, I would give it to you for you can see and you can read it. And then if you don't want to read it, I'm gonna read it for you. Because I know a lot of our brothers, and with no disrespect, some of them have a third grade reading comprehension. They can be mad at if they want to, no matter how smart you think you're talking. But I know a lot of our brothers have a third grade reading comprehension, point blank. I know a lot of our brothers only have like a 20 and 30-minute attention span. You can't be mad at me. That's why I said I like a lot of pictures and stuff. That all that stuff be meaningless to me. If people know each other for the same cause, that's just like people supposed to bring people together, but they won't know. But why? Because this is what I'm talking about. This person might be from the city of Flint or here. You say that's the truth, straight walking, talking illiterates. Yep, real talk. I'm telling you, I done seen them. How? Because a person be standing next to a more all bedazzled up, whatever, and then the person that know me and won't bring the people together. Because the stuff that they talking, you like it because it sound crazy, and the stuff that I'm saying is factual, and you don't want that to come and correct it all. Why? Because people still be criminals. I'm telling you, that's why people still think they be criminals. You can get with these Moors, and they still come with that Roger Elvick stuff, or that Paradigm Group, or listen to that dude on the internet talk about riding around doing the same thing Michael Elvick was doing. And I said, y'all people done lost y'all hippocampus. Or you got these Moors saying, oh, you can follow this and do all this and this same stuff. And I said, well, if I can do it, you already done it, right? No. So that's why people be playing the game. Any other questions before I get out of here? I have all type of books. No one get books from me. Everything ebooks. This phone right here is one of my databases. I got a plethora of books. All type of wisdom that'll build your library, your kids, all topics, you know? And that's why I be telling people, I said, dude, come on, it's a level of wisdom. Just like if it's martial arts, just like if it's sports, just like if it's academia, let's not be biased. And then if that individual heart is pure, that means I'm like a 5%. I done learned the wisdom and came back and try to give it to my people for small donations, because the workman is due is higher. We pay for everything else and don't get none out of it. But when you're dealing with me, a person support what I'm doing, I'm gonna give you everything you want. I'm gonna give you turbans, I'm gonna give you fezzes, and you're gonna be able to get a tax and receipt because you're part of our religious community. Yep, you said a disciple has to be of a discipline. And yep, absolutely. Like me and my moved, and this is the difference. Me and my brother, we work out 7 days a week. I'm a Wing Chun student. I've been teaching Wing Chun for a long time. People used to follow me on social media when I used to have my sensei come to my building in Arizona. You know, I'm not the best at everything, but I know how to handle my own. I do it every day. When the person say practice, yeah, I practice every day. Wing Chun with my Wing Chun ring. I got my heavy bag in the back, my speed bag. Yes, every day. And yes, things punch back. But once a body is made to a certain way, man, I don't have to fight no one. I'm a warrior in the garden. With all due respect, I know when a person's mental and physical temple is trained in a certain way. A person can talk all day, but I know when a person's physical temple is made in a certain way. What? It's nothing special about you. Why? Because your physical temple is not in a certain stature. That's why. I don't care what nobody say. Look, if your physical temple is not in a certain stature, it's something wrong about you. Why? Because you talk about all this outer stuff, but you won't love yourself enough to be the best you. I know brothers be trying to talk science to me and they diabetics. I be like, dude, you can't tell me nothing. Well, no, you a diabetic because what you eating and what you drinking. Well, it was bad eating habits was passed down. You can't blame that on your parents. You call yourself a Moor. You're supposed to be under a kasher diet, aka kosher diet. My Hebrew Israelites, you're supposed to be under a certain diet, but they stomach big in the mud. They eat everything off the table. They don't know about fasting. So when a person be trying to talk them laws and commandments, I be like, man, stop and go eat a donut. Go eat them donuts because your stomach bigger than a mug. And the water has frozen. Why? I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at your stomach. I can tell. That's why I be telling people you can't. No man can tell me nothing about nothing if your temple is not right. Why? Because it shows something about you. I got all type of diet books, everything. I got all type of things. People know it. I got all these. I got herbology for home study. All those herbology books that you will see on TikTok. You can't get this no more. Yes, you can. These brothers be talking about we Hebrews and we this. Okay, well, we supposed to be under a kasher diet. Our dietary laws. Are you under it? You can get people that on here right now that say they some Hebrews and look at them and tell them to take their shirt off. Then they be like, well, man, you know, time. But when they be locked up or whatever, they be in shape because that don't be them. Yeah, they be capped and they got erectile dysfunction. And they reckless. I'm telling you, what ain't no disrespect. I'm like, dude, all this stuff is meaningless. A lot of people be trying to catch up for lost time. I'll be like, dude, it ain't nothing special about you. Why? Because if you ain't going to take care of your physical temple when you free, and the best that you can, the best, I ain't saying you can't eat this and eat that because your body, it clears things out. It's a lot that I can say, but I ain't because I don't have to. I can just look at a person and say, please. Yep, locked up. Yep, absolutely. Exactly. Key word, locked up. Yep, absolutely, bro. That's why I said I can be on here talking forever and everything can be fresh and I'm not disrespecting no one, but be like, okay, oh, so you got to get locked up to tell you to when to get up, when to do this, when to work out and do this, and then that ain't who you are, so you've been forced to do it. That ain't you. Because when they get out, everything, and it goes to niggertainment, excuse my candor. How? Because I'm looking at your vessel. That's why I be telling people, I be like, dude, nah, man. And that's why certain people don't rock with me. Because I be like, man, I'm not rocking with that. I'm not an entertainer. It's like I be telling people, I'm not no entertainer. You know? I'm not no advocate. I'm Sheik Goodman Bey. What you say? What you say, Noble? You said all you got to do is allude to something, as you say, Grand Sheik. A lot of people haven't been introduced to some things just right there. If I'm talking about it, introducing you to it. Right. You said, if I'm talking about it, I'm introducing you to it. Thank you. And it don't be no disrespect. People should be like, man, thank you, bro. Because when I go to the other place, they be like, man, thank you for bringing this to me. They be like, you ain't used to this? I be like, no, not with my people, because they be acting like they know. And I said, how do you know? Because if you know, you would be on here sharing it like me. You'd be like, man, I don't know. And they don't. So I know you don't know. Just like when anybody on here that say they're Hebrew Israelite, I say, well, tell me something in Hebrew. Do you got the lexicon? You think, so you quote some English? You can't, Hebrew don't even transliterate to that. So I know brothers don't be knowing what they be talking about. I know for a fact. Let me tell you how I know brothers don't be knowing what they be talking about, you know? You say you are not an influencer either. You are a teacher. You are a shaman. You are a medicine man. Real talk. And that's why I said I'm not accepted in my community. And that's okay. I understand it. I'm not mad. A prophet and an angel is not accepted in his own community when we're dealing with us. A prophet and an angel is accepted all other places. And I am. And people getting a bird's eye view of where I'm accepted at. All other places. So it's okay with me. That's why I said I ain't upset about nothing. I just was proved right. I ain't never trying to prove nothing wrong. My mother and dad, we be having conversations about this all day. I be crying. They be like, well, son, you know, you just have to do what you got to do. And I'm like, and that's the level we at. But I know our brothers, as I close, a lot of our brothers, and anybody can ask me anything, because we just having a marathon. I know a lot of these brothers that's religious, you know. This the first thing that they'll say when I heard these Hebrew Israelites trying to disrespect a European dude. He came to the gas station. The European dude from the hood done help way more people than any Hebrew Israelite I can say him out. I know done help so many people get out of jail. Done so many things pro bono. Had his yarmulke on. They trying to mock it. And then wait, right there. Called Laban. Called me on the spot. He was like, Sheik. He like, wait, are you in the Flint? I said, yeah. I said, what's going on, Rabbi? He like, well, I'm at the store getting some gas. He said, brother told me his nationality was Israelite. That's what they'll do. He was like, I'm getting some gas, and these brothers is like trying to attack me, like disrespect, man. And they trying to call him, yeah, you know, try to use Laban derogatory. I almost spit my juice out. He laughing. They don't even know this man is a professor, PhD 3 times over. You know, he just visiting the city, boom, doing something at Clear University. They don't even know with it, but they trying to attack this man. They don't even know that he did the whole lecture of the Jew is the Igbo and the Igbos. The same, I done showed y'all the document. Them been the Igbo land. So they trying to call him, and that's Laban right there. I said, so I didn't say it to them. I'm on speaker. I said, so Laban meaning what? A white man. I said, so Laban, Laban, Laban mean white, literally. What you mean? Just like black adjective, black phone case, or a white tissue paper. And they were like, no, white as, the white man. And I hear everybody laughing, ha, 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 high five. And I said, okay. Now you messed up. I said, because if that's the case, I said, if you saying that using that as Laban, I said, Jacob married Laban's 2 daughters. They're like, what do you mean? I said, you got your King James version about it like you like to be screaming. I said, Jacob married Laban's 2 daughters. So they'll and everybody laughing. They're like, They're like, what you mean? I said, you said it, that Laban is the WHITE man, and you trying to say that to him disrespectfully. I said, y'all love your patriarch Jacob, all this. I said, well, Jacob married Laban's 2 daughters. So did Jacob marry the WHITE man's 2 daughters? You can't say nothing. This is what they can't say nothing. That's why I said religion, even with the Islam stuff too, man, we'll clear that up in 2.1 seconds, the same way I cleared this up. I'd be like, man, y'all playing. A lot of them brothers be under Ron L. Hubbard. And then a lot of that stuff come from the Watchtowers, from Rudolph in Detroit. I know, because all that stuff was going on back then. All that stuff, the Red Book, from the Lost Nation of Islam to the North America, man, that stuff come from the World Almanacs. That stuff come from the World Almanacs. You can be mad at me if you want to. I'll pull the documents out from the Watchtowers. You'll be like, this word for word. All that spaceship stuff, word for word. Just like View of the Hebrews. Show you in the Book of the Mormon. The Book of the Mormon was plagiarized by the View of the Hebrews. So that's why I be like, man, you need to go on. That's why I be telling brothers to go on. And I said, break it down. I said, if Laban is the white man that you say, I said, didn't Jacob marry Laban's 2 daughters? Yes or no? If it's any Hebrew Israelites on here, they probably don't even know, because I know they don't read. Yeah, quiet as a mouth. Yep, I know they don't read. Most of them brothers don't read because they're not educated. They're not scholars. They just arguing over belief system. Man, all that stuff can be cleared up. Okay, then they say they Hebrew Israelites. And let's deal with origin. Hebrew is just an act that was done. Now let's play devil's advocate. Okay, so if we say we all Hebrew Israelites, somebody God. And then I thought in the Bible, didn't someone look like Marduk? Didn't someone put on the image as Marduk? But whatever. So let's make a long story short. Anyway, so these so-called Hebrew Israelites, your God tell you to go to a certain area. What area? Canaan land. Who? The land of Canaan with people. And go do what? View the city out and destroy all these people and take them out. And anybody of fighting age, you make them cross over. Okay, that's the story. Yep. Okay, so who was the group of people, the so-called Israelites? What was their nationality that went over to a certain land, Canaan land, and what was their nationality? If you say brother on brother, so it's the same thing happening from your God, what? And this was ordained, what? From your God, what? For brother on brother to take each other out. How? Based on your God. Tell me that ain't the scenario. And then you're gonna make something up. Tell me. And why would you go, and then you talk about, and then you say a curse, that wasn't no curse. The curse was of not turning your skin black, which they make this crazy stuff up. The curse was you're going to be cast out your land. See, and they know it, because there ain't no scholarship in them. It's argument, and it's fugazi based on your color, and that ain't how I rock. These facts. Who was the Hebrew? What was you before then? Were you a Hebrew Israelite before then? Or where were you? You were Hebrew because the acts you done. So who did you do this to? Did you go take over the other man area? Or did you go to another area, a jurisdiction in Africa and wipe out a whole group of people? That look just like you? Tell me, yes or no? Or did you go wipe out some, what you think, some Caucasus, some Europe, some Albion per se? Did you do that? This all I be asking my brothers. When they come with that stuff, I say, man, you have no idea what you're talking about. So that means you picking a side, like this Crips and Bloods, and that's what prisoners do. That's what a lot of prisoners do. They pick sides. I ain't saying all. They don't understand about the uniting. Someone wanted to be 5%ers. Why? Because they still wanted to do what the hell they wanted to do. And I'm just saying in that context, they don't want to be a part of a certain discipline. So you create this, someone don't want to do this. That's why, and you get all these people from a certain neighborhood, that's why nothing would never happen. Because I just explained 2 religions that's contingent on your color. And then I say, well, if you were Islam, what about Ron L. Hubbard? What about Dianetics? Well, I don't know. Come on. You say the white man this and all this, but then that comes from the Watchtower stuff. You know, a lot of the other science that's in there. And then I say, who is your Quran constructed by? All those brothers that's a part of that. I ain't arguing with you, but who the Quran, the little green Quran, who is on there? Who the person? It don't nobody that look like you. Everything be a mystery. And I say, my prophet and angel look like me. We don't have no confusion of it. He from here, he from here. That ain't him. That ain't, man, I ain't got time for that. And you shouldn't either. That's why I say the games that religious people play and want you to pick a side. And I say, and even the Moors, I blame them too that play that game because they, once again, the intellectual is not, the capacity is not there. You shouldn't be arguing with no Hebrew Israelite or nothing like that. Did Jesus pray like a Muslim or is this not, man? Come on, man. Okay, the word of God in Aramaic is what? Allah, E-L-A-H. So that's an acronym. So it's so much that people need to be illuminated on. But this is what people have done. They took a religious perspective. Don't y'all know Yahweh ben Yahweh was part of the Nation of Islam? Look it up. He was part of the Fruit of Islam. These people be going through houses, and then when they feel they get enough influence, they go off and do their own rogue thing. Just like Dr. York know about this Moorish science. Everybody do. But they try to hide it, don't give credit to the prophet all the way. You know, they studied the science from the prophet. That's why the Europeans be laughing at us when they be like, y'all act like y'all don't know Wujur Ali. You see? And that's why I laugh at my people when I say Moorish Israelites, you know, or the Moorish Ishmaelite. They be like, what you mean? I be like, dude, come on. In the Quran and in the Bible, you say Abraham. God, in the damn Quran to talk about Enoch. I be like, man, like, so how can the Bible and the Quran have the same figures and you still ain't figured it out? Miriam, like, come on, man. You playing semantics with me. You still ain't figured it out. Nope. Still ain't figured it out. You know? And that's what religion have done to us. You know? What? Got us caught up in some mystic stuff and don't respect our own prophets in the flesh. We deal with some sky god. That's why I respect a lot of my Nation of Islam brothers and a lot of other brothers. They say, man, yes, we understand this sky god stuff. I mean, we understand, but we don't rock like that. A lot of people be rocking with the sky god stuff, you know, and they both got fake images of the Christ. You have a fake picture of Caesar Borgias, then you got this other picture with this dude with these eyes, with his hair, the picture like J.J. Evans made. These both false images. These both false images. I be like, man, this cap. And that's what I be telling people. I'm like, dude, you missing the whole point. Because if you're a real scholar, you understand what that Bible is about. And you taking it all literal. You talk about the 12 tribes, Maserat. 12 tribes in your brain. It's talking about the body made without hands, the most holy place, and a quarter roundabout. You just don't know the science. So say that. You just don't know the science. You're dealing with all face value. You're dealing with all exoteric. You're still not universal because you don't know how to make the body a perfect penta. That's why. So just say that. Say you limited in your wisdom and you can't go nowhere with that. You can't go nowhere as no adapt, as dealing as a Sufi. No, you're religious, which is bias. And these is facts. You religious, you biased. The same thing as the Al-Islam Muslim is the same thing as the so-called Christian. You think you're finna die and go somewhere. And then I ask these people, what's the Lord's Prayer? You want the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. Oh, really? So what are we talking about? You see, this is what I be telling us, man. It take us to come to class to learn. It take brothers and sisters to be willing to learn. It take brothers and sisters to be willing to come about all that stuff, but they not. They'll ride past you and hug you, grew up with you, went to school with you, and still be on that and know you personally. But this what they'll be on. Why? Because that's just how I feel, man. I feel I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Like, really, and then be spreading that to everybody else. And then when people be asking you stuff from scholarship, people be preaching to you. I don't want nobody to preach to me with something I know you don't know what you're talking about. You're just preaching to me based on what somebody told you, you know, all over the place. And when people come with that pro-black stuff and be wearing Egyptian stuff, I'd be like, dude, how? Like, how? Black wasn't even used to describe ethnicity. We so messed up with our mental because we think we know something. And I say, well, based off what? Well, but based off what? When we using language that's synonymous to slaves. You see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? So I thank y'all for listening to me for all this time. Man, if y'all like what's going on, send me an email, get with me. If you get some books from me, I'll give you more. I'm having a turban tying class in a couple days. I'm not going to be broadcasting it on here. We're going to be privately on Zoom. I got like 16 people. So I had to wait till everybody got their turban in the mail. This is a she-mag. And then I have turbans that's different, that's plain colors. And so I shipped everybody 2.5-inch turbans for they can wrap them. And then, and then I show them how to wrap their she-mags. And so I say, everything I teach, even with your fez, before you put that fez on your head, you should want to know what it's about. And this is what I'll be telling our brothers and sisters, man. We messed up. We got to come out of that prison mentality. When I say prison mentality, that cliquish thing. You can't be out here promulgating the message and you know somebody that's greater than you and you don't bring them in. Then it's your own personal agenda. And everybody knows the truth. It's like, how can you be spreading the message and somebody here that can help you spread, and you don't even bring them in as an expert witness? Why? Because you want the lights on you. And when I do things, I bring all my brothers in because all my brothers got expertise in specific things. I got my one mufti, he's the Alonzo Wright Bay in Baltimore. He do all the web design and all the dope clothing you see on our website, Moorish Haberdasher. I got workout apparel, and my brother named that passed, Akil Jelani Goodman Bay. He designed all that, all the Morsaki stuff. He designed all that. My boy Gregory Moso L got my Yatsa and tees. My noble Malik Reed, he do our personal training, and he a basketball trainer with the youth. We got my boy Brian Hicks Bay. He do music. He got an album out called Transportation of Raw Material. It's hard. Then I don't know what. We put it together ourselves. He ain't tripping on all doing no deals and all that because we talk science. And yes, he used language, but everything is science. And here it is, brothers don't want to collab. And I say, we don't have to collab no more because we're going to be teaching everything that I know to the kids. I'm an elder. And now I got a control over a whole school that's not in my area. And they say, well, would you teach the kids? Yep. We're teaching the kids a lot of these skills, how to print and how to do web design and teach history. And I'm bringing my library to these kids that's small. And so we have junior nobles and junior empresses. I don't have no passion, really, to trying to talk to no older people no more. I really don't. I don't have no passion trying to convince no one. And that's why I said I ain't tripping on having Sunday school and adapt class on social media no more because it's meaningless. The traction that I got from real people in schools, they're like, why are you still doing this? They're like, well, do you get donations? And if people trying to help the movement, and this, not the other, and you give them a tax and receipt, and they get books from you, I'm like, no. They're like, why are you doing that then? And I'm like, everything can't be just for money. I said, there have to be a balance, and I have to listen to the Creator. That's just me. But the Creator told me, like Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19, he said, it's a time and a place for everything. And so that's what I said. I said, it's a time and a place for everything, and I accept that, and can't nobody be mad at me. No, that Ecclesiastes chapter 3. I said Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19. That's wine made for laughter, but money trumps all. That's what that is. But you get to a place where you say it's a time and a place for everything because it'd be exhausting. And you'd be like, well, why my people ain't listening? And when I do these lectures and I do these book clubs and the college students be like, that book costs $800. You offer that as an ebook and we get a taxes and receipt. And so if I ask for $40, it'd be a couple of them put their money together. 4 people to put $10 together and they get it. They was like, no, we want you to have the $40 sheet. They're like, no. And that's how I do things. And that's how I became, how can I say it, sought after on the college campuses. When the students were like, no, his library is more extensive than the GCU's. His library is way more extensive than ASU. So students from all different backgrounds was hitting me up. And that's how I was able to do lectures on the colleges because they have a thing called the student union and they put funds in it. It's just like when Muhammad Ali was banned from boxing. Where did you see him lecturing at? You ain't see him lecturing at no so-called black universities. He was lecturing at all, those other colleges and at their fraternal houses. That's why they loved him. That's why Muhammad Ali was able to go overseas and free people. And people don't know it. The same way I get love from the so-called Christian and Muslims and the Protestants and all that in Arizona. And when I come home to my city, I be disappointed. I'll be disappointed. And I have to say that. Why? Because here it is, these Hebrew Israelites and all this, they don't understand a higher wisdom and try to bring people together. It's still some splinter groups. So these people are going to be poor. And so I remove myself from that. And so if y'all want to deal with me, y'all know how to get with me. Subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube page for Adapt class Saturday and Sunday. You don't want to miss it. But through the week, I'm going to be on here talking to y'all, every other day to try to bring people in, you know. You say, in the Bible, written in a figurative way. What you say, Noble? What you mean? You say, in the Bible, written a figurative way. Would you ask me a question, Noble? I don't want to get off with that. Somebody asks me a question. I respect everybody's question. And if you're religious, you're literal. Yep. You say, yeah. Or I talk about the exoteric. We ain't dissing it because, remember, everything on the outside explains the inside. So when you're talking about the outside, yeah, you literal. You basing your thing on the basic things, not the analogy or the parable or the symbology, or the metaphor. The Bible is written in analogy, parable, symbology, and metaphors. So if you don't understand that, and if you don't have a lexicon, you really don't know what you're talking about. And then if you don't have the missing books of the Bible, which the Bible speaks of, how can you know what you're talking about? The Bible said, didn't you read this in the book of Yasher? In academia, that's a prerequisite. The Bible talks about Enoch. The Bible talks about 100-some books, specifically 23. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to say something canon. Who told you? And people don't even have all the Hebrew books. That's why I be laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to waste my time, with a lot of people that I know don't know. And they just be screaming out some scripture. And give me John chapter 4, verse 44. Like, man, and trying to overtalk them. I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not stooping myself down that low and not debating Europeans and professors with 3 times over. That's racist. Like, man, I'm not doing that. They say, can explain that people be calling Egyptians black and other so-called black people in Europe that built things we Moors. Yep. And what do you say? What do you say? And then when you say Egypt, they think you talking about literal Egypt as it today. And then you got these brothers talking about, Egypt is here. People are confused. Well, when they say Egypt is here, they talking about it's a Masonic thing, because I can give you an analogy now. When people don't understand truth, they be like, it's a myth. We went to the Grand Canyon, and it is monument, and it is certain things in the Grand Canyon, Egyptian things in the Grand Canyon, and it is mounds in here in the Americas. Like, that's a fact. So for me, I always have to understand. I always have to deal with context before we say no and that. We always have to deal with context. As a scholar and educator, you want to deal with context. You'd be like, because if I show a person something in the Grand Canyons, which is America, and you see these so-called Egyptian things, and you see these so-called pyramids, and you see Montezuma, certain museum in these places, you'd be like, well, how did this stuff get here? Because it was already here. Because it was already here in Americas. So certain things I don't get into when people be saying, well, we're in here, like Memphis and Mizraim, in our sign, we talk about Memphis and Mizraim. When we talk about the Mississippians, for me, once again, a lot of times we have to stay in context to hear what a person is saying, and then we can agree. I wouldn't say we can't agree to disagree if we're dealing with scholarship. We have to be basing it on reason, things that can be proven. Now, can I prove that there were certain things in the Grand Canyons? Yes. Now, if they just put them there just to fool all the students, wow. I'd be like, if that's the case, I'd be like, wow. Because once again, let me get out of here. Before I get out of here, y'all, let me show y'all something if I got time. What you just said, we had cleared up like this. This would be real simple. This would be real simple. Now, that's how I know a lot of our brothers just don't have enough. Let me see if I can find this before I get out of here. And see, I've been on here for 2-some hours. I ain't asked nobody for nothing. Ain't nobody on here talking about donate to this for I can travel here. I ain't doing that like nobody else. I said, if you want to, you can, because I'm going to give you wisdom. And I'm going to give you books, on the house. I don't have nothing to sell. But if you give a donation, I'm going to give you way more. But let me see, can I find something that what you just said, and we'll be out of here. Which I know people don't know because they don't have access to the information. You say, I tell Moors isn't just a noun, but a action as well. Yep. Now watch this. Let me see if I can find it, because I've been on here for ooh, Lord have mercy. I've been doing the marathon. I ain't got a slug. What my boy said, he said, I just sent you something, bro. No matter if nobody did. Gratitude, bro. Hold on, let me see, can I find this? I probably can't because I got so much in here. But I broke it down the other day. I can't even find it. I should have saved it. But I have to scroll through all these books. Let me see. But it's so, you said something and it just stuck out. And when people, that's why when people talk about things, I got everything to match it to show you. Be like, I need that. I need that. I'll be like, I know you do. That's what I be telling people. I'm like, you got to come and get this that so you would know for sure. Oh, where it's at. Let me see. Man, y'all, not the cannabis Christ. Oh, man, I have something for y'all. Maybe I'll find it another day. Man, man, y'all, I have something for y'all. Mm. Let me see. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had something for y'all. I cannot find it. I have it, but it's gonna take me too long. Let me see if I can do a search on it. I just got too many books in here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Dang. See, I should have had this out for y'all, man. But I wouldn't have known. Okay, ooh, well, you said something. You said something. Let's see. I'll find that later. I'll find this later because you said something that just, I'm glad you said that too. So we finish like this. I'm trying to get my status right, but brother be trying to sell you some and you can't trust them. Ah, bam. Okay, let's see what brother said. You said, all you have to do is claim your status, brother. You don't need to sign nothing or nothing like that. The prophet didn't bring nothing like that. And then I give you the state booklet. This is what I be telling people. I said, dude, y'all got it wrong. The 1099 is not no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. It's a religious affidavit. Only thing a person can do is make you part of a Muslim, a Masonic order or a religious order. Now, the Moral Science Temple of America, we got a member card, an ID card, and a travel card. It don't replace nothing. It don't replace nothing. That's why I be telling people. I have the state book. I have all the documents from the CCRD telling you that the 1099 is no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. But people still be on it. And I said, well, you don't want to get in trouble. I keep telling people people want to come up with their own magical, made up fairy tale. Well, such did this. Give me the precedent of law case. It's none. They talk of that expatriation stuff. I'll be like, dude, I'm not finna play with that. No one can nationalize you or denationalize you. When you expatriate from this so-called de facto government, you are a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. Don't you know that? That means you stateless. But that's what we listen. That's what we listen to. When I told y'all, a lot of these people done lost their marbles because they get on the internet and say something like, "I need to correct my status," and I say, "What do you mean?" And they, "What do you mean?" Because if I was a shyster, I could have hustled everybody. I could have been hustled everybody a long time ago. Why? Because that's what they asking for. That's why my homie, he said, what? He's like, people have been following you forever, Sheik. If you was a shiesty dude, what he say? You could have been hustled everybody. I know. That's why people be acting like they don't know who I am, because they know what I stand for. When I was young, I was a knucklehead. I got Westpad tatted on my arm. It's a blessing that I'm still here. I lost my brother. It's a blessing that I'm talking to y'all right now. It's an honor. So I know what I'm saying. People coming to me with cap. I say, man, don't get tough with that. I say, man, please. I know what's going on. I'm like, dude, it's cap. And that's why a lot of people got in this Moorish movement. I'm the Consulate General of Morocco. Who made you the Consulate General of Morocco? Who voted you in? Ain't no Consulate General of Morocco over here in the United States. Like, this stuff it's crazy. I just said it earlier. So when a person be saying a status correction, I'll be like, okay, tell me where you got it from. And that person got it from RV Bay Publishing or some conscious community, and they don't want to tell the truth, or I don't know who they got it from.
Because most of these people that's older that be on here talking and stuff, tell them to pull out they dang ID from the temple because they got it. They just tried to figure out a way to make money. I'm telling you, with that redemption movement, with that Roger Elvick paradigm stuff, I'm telling you, that ain't more science. So when the person say, where do you get that stuff from? When the person say, I'm trying to get my status right. What do you mean? That's what I be saying. When you get your status, what do you think you're going to get? This is what I be telling people. I be like, dude, I've been solid for day one. That's why people was like, man, people have been following you for day one and they ain't came in. That show you where people minds at. And I'm not saying yours, but look what people say. That mean they into that. That mean they following it. This is what I be telling. I said, come on, let's be honest. People all over the place. That's where they're getting this stuff from. Tell me where you're getting it from. And people don't want to. That's just like, somebody that's a PDF and can help them, but they won't. I'll be like, man, where y'all getting this stuff from? Because you're getting it from somebody on social media, but no one will say. That's why I'll be like, I said, man, we doing a disservice. That's that conscious community stuff. Man, the religious laws trump everything. I've been telling people, you need to be a part of something that's real, the BBT. I keep telling people. We taxes them for the federal government. We operate a certain way. This is what I be telling people. But it be falling on deaf ears. I'll be like, man, ain't nothing else I can say. I didn't recreate the Moorish Science Temple of America. I created the temple in the school. I already know what they are. Nobody got to share them with me. I know what they are. I'll be waiting for people to be like, man, you're right. You don't have no. Remember, when I speak, nobody have to say specifics. I say everybody that they fall under that is doing it. So when I say anybody that fall under what I'm saying, you can say this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. If anybody say your social security number is attached to some tax, this and that and the other, you got this, I'm talking about all of them. Because if yours is, theirs is. Now, whoever's saying that, I'm talking about them. If someone tells you can drive without no license and do all this, and I said, why would you do that? Would you let your kids get in the car with someone? Would you let me be responsible for all the kids in our community and I'm on that stuff and then something happened to us? I want to try to use the same laws that I ain't rocking with? No, because I'm supposed to be responsible for others. My personal agenda shouldn't mess up the movement. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I'll be telling us. People got to get up and feel and reboot the hard drive because they'll sit and argue with me. Brother, like they know something. I said, okay, well, what that mean? And and what's gonna happen is bad stuff. Because if it was valid, how can it be a plethora? How can it be a dude with dreads with a cockeye saying he can do this? Another dude saying they can do this, and his paperwork is better than yours. How can all these people be doing the same thing? That means it's meaningless. That means you might as well do it for yourself. All that sending stuff through the mail and all that stuff, that's mail fraud. All that stuff, and then what? You might as well do it yourself. Because it's still meaningless. You see? Someone talk about a status correction. What? Tell me what a status correction is. Please, with all due respect, because I got a little bit more time since it said I've been on here for 3 hours. And I don't get nothing. I'm finna go tomorrow, Friday, lecture for Holy Day Watch. I'm gonna start showing y'all the donation I get from my homeboys for Juma. And it just be from love. So somebody tell me what a status correction is and watch, they won't say it. And I say, where you got it from? Because ain't no such thing as a status correction. When I ask you, what's your coat of arms? I ask a person right now, what's your coat of arms? They don't know what the heck I'm talking about. What's your coat of arms? Do anybody know what I'm saying when I say that? Your coat of arms? Yes or no? Watch this. Do anybody know their coat of arms? Watch it. It's very simple for all my religious, especially the Hebrew Israelite brothers that's on here, because there's some on here. That's why they don't say nothing. They know. See, I know they don't. Ask a Hebrew Israelite what's their coat of arms. They don't know. Research whatever your last name is, your family crest. Your coat of arms is your family crest. You annex your El Labay to the name that your mama gave you by birth. You ain't got no slave name. The copy Jew. This is what these religious people don't want to tell you. This is what they want to tell because they know it's the truth. I'm an American. I don't have no slavery in my family. My dad's father from Florida. Your family crest is your coat of arms. Timothy Drew, Noble Drew Ali. I'm sorry. So what are we talking about? So when you don't have no family crest, no coat of arms, you have nothing. And people don't know this. I be telling people, look up the Corsica flag with the Moorish head. People they be lost. That's what I be telling. I be like, man, go on with the gangs, the copy Jew. What you mean, Sheik? Man, nothing. Nothing. I just told you all European Masons are sons of Muslims. I don't know what I'm talking about. I said, when y'all see my coat with my family crest, y'all seen it. My dad got the coat, I got the coat, our Goodman family crest. Yeah, that's the slave ship of Jesus of Limbeck. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we know. That's like when we talk about the Demi Moorhead, what they didn't teach people in school. It's a lot. When we talk about the War of Ferdinand and Isabella, it's a lot that people don't know they need to be educated on. It's a lot. It's a lot. When I talk about Swarty Paya, aka Black Pete, you had a Morisco or Mordine. You know, you were converted to Christian or you were converted to what, or you were Islam. Some did it by force, some did it by choice. You know. Did you know African American, they are American Indian? Hey, I ain't in that debate. I tell the people, hey, but I don't rock like whatever. Like I say, people can be whatever they want to be. Did you know African Americans are not African? They are American Indians. Hey, like I say, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like I said, I ain't here to debate. Did I know? I know what I know. And when a person say American Indians, I say, hey, fine. You know, I'm not here to debate no one. You know, I'm not. You know, that's why I said I'm not. You know, Indian, yeah, I get that. But still, Indian is still not specific, which is all good. It's all good. Indian, you know, based on what? You know, from mixing with these other people, you know? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we know forcibly classified nigga, Negro, NBC. We know that, you know? What you say? Ollie's fake the ad apps. This is what I said. I said, yeah, a lot of stuff we know, but we get one piece of history and be like, well, do. And I said, yes, we have to take everything. But I understand what you're saying. You know? I understand. You know, I understand what people be saying. Hey, that's why I said I don't argue. I said, yeah. But once again, it's still going to be certain things that's going to trump certain language. That's all. That's all. When I say when I ask a person, what's an Amazigian? And they be like, what do you mean? What's an Amazigian? What you mean? We say free men. And I say, well, what's an ancient Amazigian? When a lot of people say, we read this and read that, I said, hey, I'm not here to argue with no one. But I say, history is going to always do something. There you go, what they were called before American Indian. There you go. There you go. There you go. This is what I be telling people. I said, man, I'm not arguing with you. I said, what do the people call themselves? You know, I understand about modern things, and I say, remember, I get that. But what did the people tell anyone? You know, what did the people say they were? If we talk about free people, which we get Thomas Jefferson Quran when they called you a Corsica, a pirate, and all this, well, who was these people? And what did they call themselves? I wait. Because if a person say they call themselves this, I'll say, are you sure? Historically, I'm not arguing, but I say, were they free? Were they free people? And that, well, yeah, they free. Well, what did they call themselves? What did the so-called free people call themselves? What the name did they give them? It sure wasn't no American Indian. You say, I'm 47 years old, brother. I made it through the top authority Spice and Dane family. Ghetto boy Eric. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm getting ready to be 50 in January on my birthday. I'm getting ready to be 50 on my birthday. It's a lot of things in museums. Like they got dinosaurs in museums. I'm not here to argue with no one, but they got dinosaurs in museums. I'm not saying nobody wrong on here. That's what I tell people. I said our energy be messed up with each other. I never said nobody was wrong. That be the thing. And what he said, he was like, you never said nobody was wrong, Sheik. I said, I know, but you know, that's what happens. I said, well, what about, did people call themselves free men and people like the freemanness? And I said, well, what about Amazigians? And I asked a person to research Amazigian. You know, you said all you have to do is annex your El Bay first. You have to know what El means. Thank you, Noble. Do you know what El means? That's the reason why you have to be learned. That's all I be telling people. We'll get a little piece of history and we'll be like, oh, look what I got. We'll show both hands. But a person be like, yes. And then a person be like, dude, calm down, because that's fine. You know, a person be like, that's fine. I say, that's the point. I get it. It's just like you learn a couple of multiplications and you're gonna get rid of mathematics. And we dealing with mathematics, we getting the bread. But you're gonna say, well, I'm gonna deal with multiplication. Forget mathematics. Why? Like why? Like that's the tool in the toolbox. So once again, we You know, when I tell people, when I say we're building, building means we're building, not destroying. We're adding value too. You know, we add value too. I'm not. That's what I tell people. I said, we don't do that with each other. Everybody at their level of ism. But now we build. We're not destroying because everybody. If we build it, that means that's solid. The foundation is solid. So we continue to build on it and be like, boom, we building, we building, we building. We're not trying to say, well, all right, are you wrong? I know this because the this, you know, I get that. That ain't what I meant. That's why I said our perspectives need to change. You know? No, I don't. To be honest, I don't follow nobody. Say, do you pay attention to any of these mowers out there? No, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't. People send me stuff, and that's how I find out. I really don't. I don't pay attention to none of that stuff, to be honest, because why? I don't give attention to something that I know is not right. For me, I don't waste my time because what I get into is debating with someone that I know already where they at with their wisdom. So it'd be like me arguing with a Hebrew Israelite. It was like where they at. I get that. You can't change that. I'm not trying to change no one. Just like if you were taking a philosophy of religion at GCU, one of my classes, and I'm teaching, but a person that coming in with that religious stuff, and they'd be like, "Why are you taking this man class? This is philosophy of religion. Why are you in here? We'll have to kick you out." They be like, "You in here tripping. You said he trying to. He ain't. This is philosophy of religion, or this is the origin, or we dealing with hermeneutics, hermeneutics. This is not what we think, but that's what we get because the energy that we got, this debating stuff. You know, that's where it comes from, and it's not wisdom, it's not scholarship, it's not peer review, it's debate. I said we build. You say, and you should be a good citizen, obey the laws of the land. Well, once again. A lot of things have to be trumped when we say citizen. A lot of stuff just have to be correct and enlightened. Because once again, yes and no. You know, when a person have the right to choose, can't nobody say they wrong. If they choose and they know what they're doing. If they choose to inject themselves in communities or movements. No one can say, oh, they stupid because this, that, and the other. They'll be like, well, why I'm stupid? I choose to do this. Just like with wisdom, people choose to be ignorant. People choose to debate each other and say, okay, well, am I saying something wrong? You know, this, that, and the other. And then you got other people that call themselves university this, ain't never went to no university, and use black laws like that means something. I said, those are terms. There's no precedent in law. There's no dot. It's nothing. You know, no one should be giving out law advice if you're not, you can't pull up no precedent in law cases or no doc numbers showing that you won some cases. Like, I don't give legal advice. I give stuff for educational purposes, but I don't never give legal advice. Anybody hit me, so many more that hit me up, Sheik, I'd have been kidnapped, this, and that, and the other. My moves is to tell you, I said, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Because when you ask these people, they be lying through their teeth. They done said something, they done came to Arizona with that stuff they be getting it from, and I don't represent it. So I told people, I can't operate with nobody doing nothing criminal. Why? Because I'm not a criminal. I'm not defending it. It ain't enough money you can give me. Everybody have a right of a nationality. That's why I said I don't get it. What you mean? Everybody have a right of a nationality. I deal with is the law. I said, when a person say right, if you tell me what the law say, it says you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. If that's what the law say and if that's precedented, that's all I'm saying. Now you look at a person and you might say, well, they this color, they not Chinese. How you know? How you know what blood running in their veins? That's why I be telling people how we get messed up. Well, you don't know who is who. A person might be lighter and they got just as much Moorish blood in you. His nose might not be big as yours, but he got just as much Moorish blood in you. That's all I be telling people when I say, what does the law say? That's what I said. I said, how many people ask their grandma and their great-grandmamas? My dad, 80. My dad got all the records right now from the Goodman family. I can get them right now from my dad showing that his father's father had land in Florida, in Plant City, at Strawberry Farms. I ain't saying people don't come from Africa, because the One World Tartarians will tell you not everybody come from Africa, and these European scholars. So once again, I'm here to argue with no one, you know? That's what I be saying. The ego people be having, that be the Lord self. And I said, man, I done this in academia. I done this with professors when they come in there with that Willie Lynch and that root stuff. And my professors, which is European Jews, were like, well, you can correct that. Come with the facts. And they had a misnomer black lady professor at GCU and had what they call required, no, what she said? Yeah, require reading some roots. And I said roots come from a European named Harold Colander, his book The African. That's fake. And then she talked about some Willie Lynch. I said, there ain't no Willie Lynch letter. I'm like, it'll be in the Library of Congress. Illuminated that. And everybody got a standing I got a standing ovation. And all the students were like, well, why do they teach this Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda? I said, ask them. I said, ask them. They have to prove what I'm saying is wrong. I don't. I just told you that that's not valid. And that's how they get us separate. And here we go, you know? That's what I tell people. I said, dude, I ain't arguing with nobody, you know? That's why I tell people, I said, man, because the nation it ain't contingent on no money. That's why I tell people, it ain't no contingent on no money. It's contingent on some things that we all agree on. That's why with the ish of us, how we believe, how we in our community, what we do. That's what I say. A nation is contingent on what? Some things that we agree on. All a person got to do is research what a nation means. And a nation don't have nothing to do with no dollar. That's all I be telling people. I said, dude, you know, we be messed up because we be basing things on a certain level where we at instead of going and going and going and then be like, man, we all of that. You would be like, man, we the ancient and modern Britons. David Mackey showed us we the ancient and modern Britons. Dang, we are this. We are that. We are the Iberian. You all this, that. You are the Igbo, the Igbo, the Berber. You know what I'm saying? The Corsica. You all those things. If we're dealing with local names and all that, so that's all I tell people. Remember, Africa was not named after a European. If it was, it'd be Africa in Europe. And that's all I'll be trying to share with people. I say, no, we got to build, not destroy. Build, 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 build. Understand it. Because if you understand, then we can build. If we don't understand what we do, we debate. Because that's a cultish thing. You see what I'm saying? Come on, brother. That's what I be telling people. I said, I ain't here to argue with no one. We can go so far with the science. I can get a European Masonic brother. I can get a politician on here. I can get a prosecutor attorney and be like, man, this man telling y'all 100% facts. I can give y'all precedent in law cases and doc numbers. People been locked up and they done told on themselves. I can get the whole Chicago Law Review and tell you what's going to happen. With what you mean? With everything that people be saying? Anything that a person be saying, we can pull it out. The what? The Aliite, the what? The elite. I don't even know. I can't even see. I can't even see what you said. Okay, I'm about to get off now, bro. Yeah, I'm about to call you. All right, fam. I've been on this joker for 3 hours, man. Just running my dang old mouth. Thank y'all, man, for just listening to me. You know, for this couple seconds. You know, 3 hours. You know, do you think Morocco came from? Do you think Moors come from Morocco? They could if they want. If they could, if they could. I can't tell nobody where they from. They could. What make us Moors? Because we born here in America with African descent. Morocco is Africa. We know that, right? That's why a lot of people have to look at a map before certain things was taken and all this stuff. And that's why I tell people it's just more to build on. I can't tell nobody where no one from. You know, if you identify as a Moor and you from Morocco, then yeah, because I can't tell nobody where they from. That's why I keep telling people I'm not the authority on telling nobody where they come from. That's what I keep telling people. I say I'm not the authority on telling nobody where they come from, because I know a lot of brothers that's from Russia. I know a lot of people from Russia. We talk about Alex Pushkin. So I don't know what people are talking about. So I gotta get out of here, man. I love y'all. What you say, Noble? You said you were elder, bro. You made it through a tough era in a tough place, bro. What can somebody tell you? Man, I made it through Flint in the 90s. I saw most of all my friends murdered. I saw my homie Mike Ville was killed by his own brother. And then his brother, Marlinville, we saw the police kill him in front of me and my dad on Patterson Street. Police killed him in front of me and my dad on Patterson. My baby brother was murdered. I had to bury my baby brother. My homeboy Miguel was killed in front of Mike Villeneuve house. My homeboy Michael Blackmore head was blew off in middle school. It's a lot, way more I can say. I love everyone. That's why I don't make an excuse. I don't make no excuse. I tell people why I can do this, and that's why the kids rock with me. That's why the kids rock with me. They like, you done been all this, and you got a dual master's degree. You wrote all these books. You do got businesses. I give backpacks away, and people got way more money than me. All they care about themselves. They just rapping and singing and court jest and dancing around, and we be from the same city, and we won't be linking up. That's why I be looking at people with a weird eye, because can't nobody do nothing to me, and I give my life for what I believe in. That's why I said I know what it is. It be people from the same city. We be on the same movement, and all they want to do is rap and dance and do their own thing and be a part of the movement. But what about us? What about us? And so I'm going to continue to say that. That's why my mission has been illuminated, and I'm just thankful for the people that rock with me. Because I've been on here for years, and now I start backing back. People are like, we need you. I said, no, we don't. I've been giving myself freely. Just like if I was starving, nobody wouldn't even give me no beans. If I was on here, I'm giving everybody, I got 6.4 thousand people on my TikTok. And I'm like, man, can y'all just give me some beans to feed me? Nobody wouldn't even give me no beans. And the same people be on here. I said, man, can everybody give me at least $10? Man, I'm hungry. I ain't ate nothing. And they'd be like, well, people been on my page for 3 hours. It ain't worth nothing. So I'll starve giving this. And when I go to other places, I don't starve. That's all I'm saying. And it ain't about the money. But it's showing me, they're like, well, it is the money, sir. You done went into debt for what you know. You part of selective groups. It's worth something. Ain't no way I can go to speak on a Thursday just on history and science, and I showed everybody who Roger Elvick is and get a $2,500 donation, and they say I don't have to give nothing back. And I say, yes, I do. Oh, I definitely got to get something back. Let me buy something for the kids. Let me do something. And they're like, you don't have to do that. Yes, I do. And so that's all I'm saying, family. I'm not a poor righteous teacher, and I'm not going to die poor and broke. And I just see the difference of what I'm doing. If I was selling some fake stuff, some fake ID, if all that, I'd be fine. I ask for small donations, and I can't get them. And I tell people when they give a donation, I'm going to give you books. Everything I talk about, I'm going to give it to you. When a person talk about the state booklet, I'm going to give it to you. All the Charles A. Wiseman books, I'm going to give it to you. All our books by our scholars, I have them. I'll give them to you for ebooks, and you can print them and bind them on your will. And you can teach your kids this. But when I'm gone, I'm gone. And that's what I've been telling everybody for a long time. And can't nobody say I don't deserve to be gone. So, with all due respect, thank y'all for your time. And I love y'all. But my time really is limited with social media because they haven't done nothing for me. I promise y'all. Well, I'm lying. I got my muftis. But after that, for the years I've been on here teaching the truth, the years people have been following me on YouTube, I just have to be honest. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't believe nothing nobody be saying on social media. I'm being real with you. Even the people I see in real life in Flint that be on my social media page, I don't believe nothing they be saying neither. I'm just keeping it 100. I don't be believing nothing nobody saying. Why? Because they prove me right. They be proving it. They'll let you starve, and they'll say, we love you. How? The same way they did Eric Mays. How? Eric Mays died. They do it. Paint his face on the community center. He's the people mayor, but y'all ain't vote for him to be the mayor, so that means y'all cap. That mean you cap. And that's why I'm saying I'm not going to exhume myself like that. So if people want to get with me, y'all know my info. I love y'all. I'll come on somebody's page and teach. We can be private. Bring me on your page. And I'll lecture on your page with certain donations. And I'll talk about whatever you want me to talk about, and I'll give literature. Everybody got their own page. I'll come on your page, and we can build on something specific. What y'all want to talk about, we can clear things up. When a person said these people be trying to sell them this, that, and the other. So have me come on your page and clear all that up. When people talk about status and all this, and I bet you they won't say nothing. Because they know when they see me, they going to start being scared because they know I've been doing this forever. That's as long as they've been building themselves up with that caricature stuff, with that paper terrorist stuff, like Bobby Hemmett been telling them, it's the same time I've been on here. And so when they see me, they're going to know exactly who I am. Because I blocked them all during the pandemic when everybody figured out how to do what Michael Novak was doing. That's how. So they know, and they know. Some of them just got skinny off Ozempic, and some just got big because they gluttony, flat out. And the one dude used to be, well, both of them used to be in Vegas. The one locked up now, and the other dude, he's still in Vegas. He know it because these people done ran across me. He just got fat. That's why I don't be respecting none of that court gesture stuff, and I don't respect none of the women with them podcasts. I don't respect nobody with them podcasts, bringing all these lies to our people with that payola, pyramid scheme, and Ponzi scheme crap. I don't respect it. I don't respect it, and I don't have to say the names. You know who it is. And everybody know I'm telling the truth. So that's why I don't respect none of this. And if I was doing it, shoot, I have money coming out my ears. And then when I get caught, I can just say, well, no, I can just explain, I can just act like I ain't know what I was doing, or act like you ain't doing it right. Because that's how these people get paid. A pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme, and you know it. So I love y'all, man. Get with your boy. Support our movement. I love y'all. But a lot of our people need to stop what they doing. Peace.